Hello everyone, welcome back to GDQ Hotfix. I am Helix. This is Parallel Universe, the show all about community-created content. So if you like mods, if you like fan games, if you like custom levels, even some sort of out-of-the-ordinary categories like randomizers and bingo, if it's created by the community, it counts. You will like the show if you like that kind of thing. And speaking of mods, I have Kylie here running a mod of Crash 4 called Crash Bandicoot 4 Enhanced. Kylie, what is this mod about?
Hi. So, like Helix said, my name is Kylie. So this is a pretty subtle but pretty significant overhaul of just the entirety of Crash 4. The best way I can really put it is that it makes 100% completion of the game way less tedious. So a lot of the excessive like hidden crates are gone. A lot of the more unfair like challenges, a lot of the collectibles that were deemed redundant have just kind of been significantly toned down. So 100% in this version of Crash 4 is a lot more akin to 100% in the older Crash games, which was one of the most common criticisms of the original game.
Mm-hmm. And I guess I'll just introduce myself. My name is Tacos. I go by Crispy Tacos, Tacos for short. I am an any percent runner of the vanilla version of this game, and here to be providing some commentary and insight for the 100% category that Kylie will be running for you all today.
All right. With that, I think we're ready to go.
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, good luck, and thank you both for being on.
No problem.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
So right off the back, or the start, we're gonna go right into the first level, which is Rude Awakening. This is kind of just an homage to Crash 1. Just kind of has the basics of everything. So the goal of 100%, if you're familiar at all with regular Crash 4 speedruns, the closest equivalent category is all clear gems. So to get 100% in the enhanced version of the game, you just have to beat the game and get all of the clear gems, which will also amount to getting 4 of the 5 colored gems. There is actually an additional colored gem that this mod added, which I'll point out when we get to the level where that's relevant, but it doesn't actually count for percent, and we don't actually need it to get the gem that is supposed to be required for it, so we just end up skipping it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the first of many rail sections we're going to have. They're just kind of scattered throughout the run, and I honestly kind of like them as a break.
Mm-hmm. And I was just going to add, the main way of moving in this game is going to be primarily just doing slide spinning. It works very differently than it does in Crash 2 and 3. You can pretty much chain them like infinitely in sequence rather than Crash 2 and 3 having to kind of just wait and like do like more of a rhythmic pattern. And here you could clearly see that Kylie is just sliding over gaps and just making her way out towards the bonus room. In this game, I think the community has kind of dubbed this little hang time that you have across the ledge. Kind of similar to something, say, like Donkey Kong Country 2, where Diddy Kong would kind of like just do it like a little dash and have a little bit of like hover time. We call that coyote time. Shout out to Looney Tunes for that.
Yeah, I know the developers actually called it coyote time like internally in the game when they were developing it.
So that's also where it came from. So I had a feeling it was like something involving that. But yeah, so you'll see that Kylie will be basically taking advantage of the coyote time provided in this game to like really clear some jumps that normally you wouldn't be able to do had you not known about like this sort of hidden mechanic in the game.
Yeah, so that was the first level. So at this end screen, you're going to see there's significantly less items here than on Vanilla Crash 4. Vanilla Crash 4 has like 6 gems per level. It was 3 Wumpa Fruit gems for collecting a certain amount of fruit. 3 deaths or less gem for just dying less than 4 times in a level. And then the box gem, which is standard for Crash games, and then a hidden gem, which is just somewhere in the level that you need to find. The mod reduces it to 2, but it doesn't even really like reduce what you have to do, because like I said, a lot of what this mod does is reduce the redundancies amongst the collectibles. So one of the biggest things is that basically in Crash 4 Vanilla, every Wumpa gem you basically get for just getting every box, so you'll just naturally collect enough Wumpa Fruit doing it, with a couple levels being the exception. And then the three or less death gem is like one of 5 collectibles in the original that revolves around not dying, including several that have you not die at all. So because there were so many collectibles where you had to not die anyway, that gem was also just kind of redundant.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And then the Wumpa Fruit gem, to make sure the Wumpa Fruit weren't just completely useless, it was just changed that the Wumpa Fruits are how you unlock the skins that you can collect in every level. And it was made. I messed up a little bit. Hold on.
Yep.
This is the first of the colored gem puzzles. You have to just jump on these platforms in a specific pattern. The pattern is slightly different in enhanced compared to vanilla to just make it a little more challenging. Yeah, but you step on a certain way and you get the red gem. But yeah, as I was saying, the Wumpa Fruits now unlock skins, which you need 90% of the fruit to collect them instead of 80%, which was needed for the gems. So it makes them a bit harder to collect, but they're also not mandatory for completion, so they're not needed for the run. There's a couple that I'll just naturally get, but most of them will just be ignored. So the intended full completion of the mod is 104%, which would also include the time trials and the flashback tapes. That does add a good additional 3 hours to the run, so I just do 100%, which is just getting all the gems.
I also want to note the location of the hidden gem there. Since this is a fan-made mod, they changed locations. So originally in the vanilla version, you actually get that hidden gem much later in the level when you're being chased. But for this mod, that actually got changed to the top rope, which I thought was really interesting.
That's the location of the inverted hidden gem in the original version of the game. That's another thing that this mod changes, is that the inverted mode, which was kind of just every level gets mirrored and then has a color filter on it, which was one of the more contentious additions, partly because it constituted more than 50% of full completion of the original game. The original version of the mod removed inverted mode entirely, but the current version keeps it in but makes it completely optional. So that's just another example of redundancy being removed from the mod.
All right, so yeah. Go ahead.
First thing I did before entering this level was switch to Coco, which you gain the ability to do after the second level. I have a very important run-related reason for switching to Coco. The reason is she's cooler.
So true.
We have this little inside joke where you lose 3 frames switching characters between Coco and Crash. So playing as Crash is 3 frames faster.
Honestly, I don't even think it's 3 frames.
It's
probably less.
Just it most likely is less, but I just think it's just a funny thing. Yeah.
Something we should mention with the map movement is that you don't actually have to walk along the map, because every time you unlock a level, it just shows up in the level select that you can pull up by pressing select or the center pad on the DualSense controller. I actually have it mapped to be L1 because somehow consistently across every Crash game for the past 2 decades, the L1 button has never been used outside of Wrath of Cortex.
Oh, so, that's what you changed.
And that includes in this game. There's no use for the L1 button, so I just mapped the level select to be on L1 because it's easier on my hands.
GameCube controller friendly. Let's go.
Yeah, I never thought of it that way. That's actually pretty neat. Yeah, so as Kylie said before, a lot of these early levels are going to be using this rail section just as a little way to kind of give the player a bit of a breather and just not have to focus too much on doing the slide spins consistently and just seeing as where the box locations are and just try to spin them accordingly. Yeah, nice little break.
The big thing with the box locations, that's probably the most noticeable change in Enhanced, is significant reduction of hidden crates, which was also one of the most contentious things about Crash 4. I firmly assert that very few of the hidden crates in Crash 4 vanilla are actually unfair, but the sheer volume of how many there are, every single level has at least a couple hidden crates that you do have to poke around every single corner to find. It's very tiring to do throughout the entire game. So I think the reduction of that is very welcome to most people.
And that hidden gem location is actually where one of those obnoxious hidden boxes was actually previously located.
Yeah, there used to be a hidden box in each of the tires, and then it was just changed to have one of the tires have the hidden gem in it. Yeah, the hidden gems were also, for the most part, changed to be out of the main path of the crates because a lot of hidden gems or a hidden paths in Crash 4 have crates on them. So in order to get the box gem, you have to go through them anyway. But for the most part, in Enhanced, if you were to theoretically get only the box gem, you wouldn't have to go through like alternate paths at all.
I just want to point out, I guess we didn't bring it up since the beginning of the level. For those who don't know, Crash 4. So throughout the game, we do collect these things called quantum masks. And you saw the first one in that level there called Lonnie Loli, which basically the ability of Lonnie Loli is to phase in and out. So if you press triangle or whichever you have the button mapped to, it'll phase in different parts of the highlighted blue box areas that you'll see in the levels.
So yeah, I just completely forgot to mention that. That is like the whole gimmick of Crash 4 is the quantum masks kind of take the place of the power-ups from Crash 3, and they're level specific as opposed to being stuff you have the whole time. So you can kind of just the levels are designed around specific masks as opposed to having to bend to the will of like entire power-ups, which is nice. So yeah, this level is Crash Compactor. I was on a whole rant yesterday about how out of every level in the first 3 hubs, which I constitute to be the early game of the run, this is by far my least favorite. It's just, there's so many things that can go wrong in this level. Something has already gone wrong. I've lost the mask I was trying to keep for this spot right here, so I'm going to lose a cycle. I wanted to damage abuse on those TNT so I could just not have to slide jump over that flame.
I think even like not even in completion category, I've also heard from like some of the other like Crash 4 any% runners how much they really just despise this level in the early game.
When I was an any% runner back on PS4 for this game, I could not stand this level. It's just if you watched a Crash 4 runner play this level, you've probably heard them complain about the gears.
Why are they shaped like that?
Yeah, the gears have extremely accurate hitboxes to how they're shaped, which is kind of cool, but also it's so easy to just fall between the teeth because Crash and Coco are just thin enough to just fall through them. So you just die a lot of times because you think you're going to land, so you spin, but then you miss, and then you just body slam to your death.
Yep. Gotta love that the body slam and the spin are both assigned to the same button.
And they have been for almost 20 years.
Gotta keep tradition.
It's great.
Actually, more than 20
there's a whole
years.
button that goes unused that you were just
I was like, there's an L1 button. Put body slam on that.
Yeah, well, they gotta make room for non-functionality, you know?
I mean, they even did change the what the triangle button does, because in older games, the triangle button is the button that brings down the HUD.
The HUD.
It's one of the 2 mask power buttons in this game, and the HUD is on L2. So, like, they weren't opposed to changing things. They just didn't change something that probably mechanically needed it.
L1 gang, we'll never forget you.
I will say, though, for everything I'm pointing out as issues I had with the vanilla game, I do love the original Crash 4. It is one of my favorite Crash games and one of my favorite games in general.
I enjoyed it quite a bit myself.
Yeah, I criticize out of love for the game. I'm just like, I love this game. These are the things that I think it could have done better, but still genuinely very happy with how the game came out, especially because it was the first truly new Crash game that we'd gotten in, like, I think 12 years at that point. So...
I mean, hey, that's just tough love.
I think they did a fantastic job. So here's a little cool trick you can do. You can just land on an invisible wall there to get this crate. And then I died 3 times to this jump yesterday, and I might be dying 3 times again. So now, because I died there, you get to see how I actually am supposed to do this. So as I said, I really don't like this level.
Yeah, just like so much. Yeah. All right, second time's a charm.
Okay, so you know how while we were waiting for this run to start, I said that there was a non-zero chance that I would say that it's never happened before. Getting stuck on that nitro detonator and just like floating in place, that has never happened before. That's the first time I've ever seen that.
There we are.
There we go.
Honestly, no, I haven't seen that either. I didn't know you could get stuck on that.
I didn't know that was a thing. I'm glad it wasn't a soft lock because I did not want to do that level again.
I didn't think that's never happened before. A moment would come this quickly. We're speedrunning these too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
New PB?
Right before we started this level, there was a prompt saying we got a flashback tape. That was at the beginning of Crash Compactor. You can't avoid that one because it introduces you to them. We're going to ignore the rest of them unless they are just in the way. So this is the second hidden gem. So you have to hit this trash can and then hit this remote control into this nitro and you get the green gem. So that wall right there had the hint on how to get the green gem. Every color gem has a hint in the level where you get them. For the most part, in the location where you get them. That was true for every single color gem in vanilla, except for the green gem, where in the regular Crash 4, the green gem hint is right there, but the green gem itself is way later in the level. So the mod just moves it to be earlier.
Yeah, because that is a hint that could be easily missed, and I've missed it multiple times because I didn't even know that existed until today.
And then right there, I did a nitro bounce. You're not supposed to be able to bounce off of nitros. It's supposed to automatically hurt you the moment you touch them. In this game, if you buffer a jump right as you land on one and you land on the corner, you can get out of the way of the explosion. It is significantly easier at higher FPS, so that is one of the main reasons that this run is generally done well above 60. I currently have it uncapped. Uncapped FPS, fortunately, does not affect how you move in this game, speed-wise, which is the case in the Insane Trilogy. So the Insane Trilogy is capped at 60. But Crash 4, it doesn't make anything faster, it just makes things more consistent, so we allow it. And then just going to do a jump here to get the hidden gem. Something of note with the Lonnie Loli, this first Quantum Mask, who does phase shifting. If there are crates, I just did that so wrong. If there are crates that get phase shifted next to nitros that are phase shift in the opposite dimension, you would think that the nitro detonator wouldn't destroy the adjacent crates while they're phase shifted, but they do. So you can just ignore all of them.
Yeah, it's really convenient.
So there's gonna be a lot of spots where there's phase shifted crates next to nitros, and I'm just gonna ignore them, and the detonator gets them anyway. So I don't know why it works like that. It just does.
Because logic reasons, I guess.
Yeah. So this is an homage both to chase levels from the older Crash games, and also some people think it's an homage to the ball levels from Wrath of Cortex.
Monkey ball.
Monkey ball.
Bandicoot ball.
Bandicoot
That's
ball,
the first thing I thought of, but of course, because it's me.
Yeah, so not much really going on over here. It's just going to be a little auto-scroller section, just trying to get away.
There's two sections of the chase
yeah.
here, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
There's a really cool skip for this in any percent, but we can't do it because we need to we need to do the whole level.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Back to Black that just happened very recently. If you missed any of that, you need to go check the VODs on youtube.com/gamesdonequick. Absolutely phenomenal event. Please go make sure you catch anything you missed from that. It was awesome. And of course, while you're there, make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube.
I wanted to give a big shout out to Taro for doing Taro Nuke, who did the run for that on Crash 4 any percent. He did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, and of course you can find
been one of
all of our other events on our YouTube as well. So if you miss any of this run, you can catch that on our YouTube in a little bit when it's uploaded. Sorry, as you were saying?
Yeah, Taro's been one of the oldest runners of Crash 4. He's been running it since back when it was only on PS4. Yeah, only on console. So.
Yeah, so major shout outs to Taro Nuke.
Yep. So coming up is the first boss battle with Engine. Or it's the first boss battle. It is with Engine. You only find him once. Oh, also we got a movement tech that I will explain after this boss fight. This boss fight has a very big skip in it, and it's very intricate. So I'm gonna go through it step by step so you guys can learn it too.
Yeah, pay attention to this because this is going to be very important.
All right, so we destroy his amplifier. We're able to attack him, and so every phase is kind of like this. He just throws enemies at you, and then you destroy his equipment, and then you go attack him. So we can skip the phases. So step one, you slide spin, and that's it. That is the whole skip. For some reason, if you slide spin into Engine, it hits him twice, and it skips the attacking phase. And this shaves, I want to say, at least a minute and a half off the level.
Yeah, it's close to a minute, yeah. So normally how this boss fight works is it pays homage to the Guitar Hero games by shooting little chunks of plasma and also minions to spin back into the speakers as you saw previously in the first phase. But because for some reason the slide spinning counts as double hits, so it skips a phase of that happening and it just goes straight to the next health bar.
Yeah. You're not supposed to be able to land on the rim of the drums, which is why it's possible. You're supposed to only be able to bounce, but because you can land on the rim, you can just slide spin. There is a slightly faster setup that is a lot harder, but it saves like an additional like 20 seconds, I think. But the bit is less funny when I do that version, so I have never learned it.
Also because it's like really difficult to do, and I learned the other day.
I think only top level runners do it. So.
Yeah, I learned the other day that it's actually very frame dependent too, so you can't do it in 60 frames. I tried.
Yeah, so Taco's mentioned that our main movement was going to be the slide spin. If this was regular Crash 4, that would have been true. So we actually get a completely different movement tech in Enhanced that we keep for the entire run. This is the hyper spin. So anybody who's beaten regular Crash 4 probably knows about the triple spin, which in regular Crash 4, you get that for beating the final boss. And the way it works is that if you rhythmically tap your spins, you can get up to 3 speed boosts. The hyper spin is that, but you can chain it indefinitely. So as long as I keep a proper rhythm going with my inputs, I can get max speed triple spin constantly. And as opposed to getting it after beating the final boss, you get it right before the first boss in this mod, with the philosophy around that being that it is a movement technique that is a little advanced, but you don't need it to beat anything specifically. Like you can get time trial relics without it. But you are rewarded for using the whole game to learn how it works. And I'm not complaining because it makes the run faster and also makes the movement very cool and very distinct from regular Crash 4. So the rest of this run is going to be mostly hyperspin.
Yeah, big ups to the community for that decision, honestly.
Yeah. The guy who made this mod, Ray Roby, went like so above and beyond in how this mod works. It's honestly pretty incredible. And I think I saw him in chat earlier. So.
Yeah, you love to see the folks seeing the fruits of their labor paying off. And I honestly, from what I've been seeing from this mod, like even like just like from an outside perspective, like there's a lot of really nice quality of life changes that I think like even casual players can enjoy.
Yeah, I've been asked by people who like not played the game before, and they've been like, I've never played Crash 4. Do you think I should play the original or Enhanced? And I genuinely say, like, even as a casual experience, I think it's just like Enhanced is just a massive improvement in the quality of life. And it still feels very true to what Crash 4 originally was. Like, it didn't drastically change the general design philosophy of the game. Like, it's still a challenging game. Crash 4 is kind of notorious for being pretty hard. And that hasn't really changed. It's just the more, like, tedious and slightly unfair aspects have been toned down significantly. But the general challenge is still there. The general core design of how Crash 4 is still there. So it's not like the mod didn't aim to just like turn this into another Crash 2 or Crash 3. It just aimed to make Crash 4 a more streamlined experience, and I think it succeeded tremendously on that.
No, I have to agree with that sentiment. Like it's like really, really nice to see, like even just having hyperspin early is like already like a huge like step up from the vanilla game.
Yeah.
All right, so coming up next, we're going to be having a different character aside from Crash Coco, who I guess we can talk a little bit about. I guess if we were going to be explaining the lore of this game, this, believe it or not, is a character that was from Crash 1. It's Tana. But an alternate version of Tana.
Yeah, the subtitles in this level label her as question mark, question mark, question mark. So she's actually your rival from Pokemon Gold and Silver.
That's good.
Yeah,
like
she's supposed to be like a mystery character, and like you find out at the end of the level that she's Tana. The promotional material for the game spoiled that she was Tana, so it's not really a surprise.
It's like listing like a game early on GameStop, and it spoils like a huge thing that nobody knew about.
Yeah. So so this is an alternate timeline version of Tana. She's not from the same universe as Crash and Coco. The entire plot of this game is that it takes place directly after Crash 3. Cortex and Entropy, after spending 2 decades trapped in space-time after Crash 3, finally escaped. And I think it's implied that they basically just waited.
Yeah.
Which is why they're not babies anymore. They just grew up again.
It's so wild to see that.
So
like,
they've made a dimensional like rift generator that's tearing apart the space-time continuum because entropy wants to just like take over the dimensions and become like the new ruler of the multiverse. So Tana is from an alternate dimension and she's like trying to stop them. This level is honestly rather uninteresting though. Tana is probably the most basic of the 4 playable characters. For the most part, you kind of just want to run and jump with her because anything else you do, like attacking or double jumping or using her grapple, slows her down. So you only do those stuff out of necessity. And this level is just very inconvenient in that the way masks work in Crash 4 is different from older Crash games where you don't carry them into other levels. So if I leave a level with like 1 or 2 masks, I will have no masks going into the next level no matter what I do. And that lets you be a lot more liberal with how you use your like masks for damage abuses. And there's a lot of masks in this level. But there's very few good places to damage abuse, so I kind of just do whatever and just see if I get hit somewhere. Yeah, we'll see most of the alternate characters at least twice. I think some of them, actually, they might all be like 3 times.
Yeah, because this is the 100% category, so you will be seeing like alternate levels, which I believe is going to be coming up next right now.
Yeah, so it's gonna take us back to the first hub, and it's gonna show you, hey, you unlock this level. Then, you can play a version of it with Tana. So we're gonna go to Truck Stop. This is an alternate version of Hit the Road, which was the level right before the first boss. And this is the other big change in Enhanced. So the way the inverted levels, or not the inverted, the alternate timeline levels worked in vanilla is that you would do the first part of the level playing as, one of the alternate characters. So in this case, Tana. And then at a certain point, it would take you back to Crash and Coco, and then you would replay the old level, but with like slightly different like box placement. But then you would play the rest of it as Crash and Coco. I have no idea how that missed. That's like classic Tana. Like you just aim and just miss entirely, despite the fact that she has like lock-on capability.
Functional character.
Yeah. So the alternate timelines, cool idea. Execution is a little lacking because you're kind of just doing the same thing, like again, even though the box placements are slightly different. And I was actually explaining this to Tacos. The alternate timeline levels, like the parts where you play as Crash and Coco in vanilla Crash 4 during an all clear gems run, they constitute about 18 minutes of the run because there's 9 alternate timeline levels, and like all of them, about half of the level is playing as Crash and Coco. So what the enhanced version does, as we're about to see, is you just don't play the Crash and Coco part. When you swap back to Crash and Coco, it just warps you to the end of the level, which is fantastic because as much as I love the levels in these games, I don't really love playing 9 of them twice. And then, of course, if you factor on like true full completion with like the relics and everything, and then the inverted versions from the original, and then if you also factor in the insanely perfect relics, which is getting every box and not dying, which are optional in this mod but are mandatory in vanilla, you're playing every level like upwards of like 6 to 7 times, and it's just very excessive. So again, one of the things with this mod is reducing a lot of the redundancy and full completion, and toning down the alternate timelines was one of the biggest changes, and I think it is one of the most welcome.
Yeah,
that was one of the ones that I like openly asked to be done after the first version of the mod was released.
Even this category, it's 2 hours 40 minutes. This is like my whole show slot.
Yeah.
And to think it could be even longer.
Yeah, so for like full transparency, the world record in all clear gems in Vanilla Crash 4 is like a 2:18, I think, by Cookie Navel.
Cookie. Yep.
Yeah. He also has the world record in this category, and his PB is like 2 hours flat. So that's just how much time it saves, and he could save more time on that run. Yeah. So this is Jetboard Jetty. There is stuff going on in this level, but it's kind of like later on. This bonus, I was supposed to bounce on that TNT, but okay. Yeah, so this bonus is an homage to the Jaws of Darkness bonus from Crash 1. There's a lot of like references to the older Crash games with a lot of the box layouts. Yeah, so unfortunately a good portion of the beginning of this level is kind of an auto-scroller because I'm sort of at the mercy of how these platforms move because there are these crates I have to break. In any percent, you can actually go through this section really quickly, and it's very cool. And I think there is technically a way to do that in like completion, but it's kind of miserable, so I haven't bothered learning it.
I will take this opportunity to shout out the 2024 Season 4 Hotfix shirt that you can get over at the yeti.com/GDQ. That is Yeti spelled YETEE. But yeah, if you want to get yourself some cool Hotfix merch, definitely check it out. I love that we even have this, because for a while we had no like real Hotfix merch, so it's really cool that we have that now.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
So this is going to be the second gem path. This is the green gem path. I kind of glossed over the red gem path in Crash Compactor because I was kind of just complaining about the level. So the red gem path had crates in it, but every other gem path has the hidden gem instead, which is also a change from vanilla. One of the design philosophies was just trying to make sure that the hidden gems and the crate gems don't like overlap. So basically any level with a colored gem path, instead of having crates in that path, it's now just the hidden gem. This one's also a bit of a slow ride, but we're coming close to the end of it, and then I'm going to do something a little cheeky. I'm going to grab the gem, but instead of taking the path back, I'm just going to death abuse. You keep the hidden gem even after you die, and it is way faster to death abuse than it is to just take the gem back. So
yeah, that does make a lot of sense, especially considering the fact that you don't have to worry about collecting the death gem here, even if you die more than 3 times.
Yeah, and it's just like a nice little unintended bonus of making the gem paths only have the hidden gem in them and not crates that you have to break. Something I'm doing here with the phase shifting is I'm pressing both mask power buttons at the same time, so it instantly phases me in one dimension and then back into the old one. And if I do that into a crate, it causes the crate to break, which would cause TNTs to explode. But then because I immediately shift back, they explode in the other dimension and they don't hurt me, and it saves time on bouncing them.
Works with nitros
so I want to
well.
say there's a skip coming up at the end of this fight, but it does have a bit of a flashing lights thing going on. So if you're sensitive to that, I would recommend looking away for the remainder of this level. I'll say when you can look back. But you may have noticed there was like, this is actually kind of scary because I don't have a mask. You may have noticed that there was like a bunch of tentacles in the background of the first side-scrolling section. Yeah, there's a mini boss fight in this level. It's with a sea monster named Louise. I'm going to very quickly drop to 30 frames per second. So you're supposed to fight her, and I don't want to do that, so...
Yep. Looks like you got it there. Yeah, you got it there. There you go. Nice.
Yeah. It's actually very important that I did not accidentally respawn there, because then I would have probably messed this up and had to do the level again. You can look at the screen again. The best way to describe that is that if you like frame perfectly pause as you're dying, you can buffer a triangle input on the pause menu, and that speeds up the death process. But then you gain control also, and if you slide out of that, you just gain movement while the game thinks you're dead, and then you can use that to just float behind Luis and just finish the level. I think that's how it works. That's probably the best way I can describe it. It also is easier at lower FPS, which is why I dropped to 30 for it. It's actually miserably difficult at higher FPS, but it's like super easy at 30. Yeah, shout outs to Supersphere, who's a regular and a mod in my chat. The Luis skip in the early days of Crash 4 was like the holy grail of skips we wanted to find, and he was the person who kind of like pieced together using the zombie glitch to skip Luis. Yeah, so
right.
like that was like a very groundbreaking skip when it was figured out.
Yeah, and I want to talk about this dimension because this probably is personally my favorite of the bunch here. The Quantum Master you get in this one, his name is Akano, and his ability is basically like a really buffed up version of the tornado spin, similar to the one in Crash 3. So when you pick him up, you basically can destroy all those metal crates that you normally can't with a regular spin. So we're going to be using that, but not only can you be able to use that, you can also, with the mega spin that you acquire earlier in this version of the game, you can also use it to gain super like speed and distance, and you just basically zip across the map, and it's like really cool to see.
Yeah, you'll see it a little bit here, like I just did it there. It'll be very, very prominent in most other levels where you have Akano.
Ooh, that was close. Yeah, just barely.
I was trying to just weave around that leaf, lily pad, whatever it is.
Yeah. Luckily, the checkpoint crate was actually right there, so that's also a neat thing. That
was another thing that Enhanced did, is that certain levels in Crash 4 just feel very checkpoint starved, especially with how long the levels are. So Enhanced just like adds a bunch of extra checkpoints throughout.
Yeah, because in vanilla, the checkpoint would actually have been way back at the top before you had to pick up Akano again. So that's kind of neat. They gave you that little checkpoint shortcut there.
Yeah. I see someone in the chat asking if there was a bounty to find Luis Skip originally. Yes, there was. I was the person who said it.
And that bounty was claimed.
Yep. It was, I set the original bounty, and then it got matched by Trihex and Rex A. They pitched in as well.
Yeah, weird, odd interactions with there. Sometimes if you're like below a box as you spin or slide into it, you just kind of fall. So since you were close to the water there, you kind of just like evaporated.
I really don't like this section of the level because there's that totem that's just like launching things at you. Ooh. I don't even know what happened there.
I think it was just a drop jump input.
Yeah, something like it like sucked me in or something. Yeah, but I don't like this section because there's so many flame crates, and then there's like also the totem just firing shots at you, and it's a lot of things to dodge, and I already don't like flame crates in this game.
Yeah.
Here's another case of the hyper spin Akano.
Yeah, you gain so much distance and speed during it, and it's only applicable if you have the hyper spin available. So it's really cool being able to see it. It is also faster depending on if you do it on the second tier hyperspin or like the fastest hyperspin. So I generally try to do it on the fastest one, but in the air, I find it easier to do it with the second one. All right, second alternate timeline level coming up right now with Potion Commotion. So we're going to be seeing Tana once again. And she's in Japan now.
Reminds me of
I think it's something. It reminds her of Neo Nippon. Minus the Kaiju Tanuki.
Of course.
As she just graciously told us. She's going to have the single greatest voice line in video game history is coming up right here. Just give it a second.
Depending on who you are, you may love or hate this. There you go. That is the only time she ever says that.
So
I forgot about that voice line.
Anyway.
Well, you're welcome, and I'm sorry.
So this is one of the timeline levels that, like, there are a handful of timeline levels that were quite notorious for being, here's about 45 seconds of gameplay with the alternate character. Now here's an entire repeat of the level with Crash and Coco. This was one of them. And as was established with Truck Stopped, the alternate timeline levels were reduced to be just the non-Crash and Coco sections, with the side effect being this level is extremely short.
Yeah, that was way faster than just having to do the entire level, because it spawns you back to where you pick up Akano again after like the second checkpoint of the previous level. So it's just so much fluff that just gets immediately removed with this mod, and I really appreciate that.
So this next level is Dragon On. Casually, I think this level is really cool. In the run, this level tends to be the bane of my existence, but I still think it's really cool. The biggest thing of note with this level is that it does have the blue gem. And if you're aware of how the blue gem works in Crash 2, where you have to go through like Turtle Woods, the first level, without breaking a single crate, it's the exact same gimmick for this level. So you might be wondering why on earth am I breaking crates if I have to get through the level without breaking any of them? And my response to that is, trust me, I'm a professional.
Yeah.
It will make sense at the end.
Or not make sense, depending on how you look at it.
I'll explain it so it makes sense. I just promise I'm not making a critical oversight.
Yeah, so another thing that I forgot to mention when you're playing as Akano is you also get boosted height when you're box jumping. So like if you're holding the jump button and you press Akano like to activate the mask at the same time, you can get additional height as well as your horizontal movement. And I think that's like a really neat part of his kit.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the more fun aspects. I think Akano is like the most fun mask to use.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Especially when compounded with the hyperspin. Like he's already one of the most fun in the vanilla game, and then you add in the hyperspin movement, and it's just insane. So fun fact, these nitros are the only nitros in the level, and there's a nitro detonator in the bonus, but then there's also a nitro detonator at the end of the level that does nothing.
Cosmetic.
Yeah, cosmetic nitro detonator. I love charging up a hyperspin on the on the bonus platform. It feels like you're just like powering up. Yeah, these dragons are very annoying in that they harm you unless you're in Akano form, and then even if you are, you just get like bounced by them. I'm gonna do a damage of these here to just not have to hit that crate. All right, so the end of the level is coming up, but I kind of just feel like messing up what I was doing. Let me just try that again.
Go for it.
Yeah, so I messed it up again. Guys, I messed up my trick.
Oh no, wait.
Yeah.
Oh, you almost had it.
Okay.
You were
Take
close.
3.
Yeah.
Okay, no, here's the backup. Okay,
There you go. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I'm just going to go a little out of bounds here, because why not? And, you know, just like go right here and, oh, there's the blue gem. Yeah, so the way it works is that the blue gem is underneath the floor of the level, and then if you reach the end of the level with 0 crates, it just respawns above the level. But if you go out of bounds, you can just grab it from underground, so you don't have to do the level without breaking any crates. That was found completely on accident by a runner named Trobotac. He just found out how to do the out of bounds at the end of the level and was messing around with it and just touched the blue gem and collected it. And we're like, oh, well, that just saved like an entire visit to this level. I'm seeing a question in the chat if about like some of the hidden crates are removed. Yes, a lot of the hidden crates are removed from the mod.
And this level had a lot of like obnoxious hidden crates. I'm pretty sure if you're a casual player and you know about this level, you definitely had to look up where some of them were, because
This was the first level where I had to look up where the last 2 were.
Yeah, because
I did it like 3 times. I was like, all right, I give up. Yeah, so a lot of most of the hidden crates in this game, in the mod, they've either been removed, they've been moved to be more visible, or they have like fruit pointing towards them to like hint to you that they're there, kind of like how like Crash 1 does it. Also, another big change, like I said, this mod does add a 5th gem, like a 5th color gem, the purple gem. They changed the hidden path in this level, off balance, to be a purple gem path. So you need the purple gem to complete it. The purple gem is not received until the last hub of the run. So the intention is that you get the purple gem like way later and then come back to this level. But we're not going to do that. There's a skip to get into the path without the purple gem, which I will be showing off very soon. It also has the side effect of meaning, unfortunately, we don't get the purple gem at all because colored gems themselves do not count for completion. They are just a means to get some of the clear gems. So because the only use for the purple gem is skipped, we just don't get it at all. But that also means that if you try this mod, you can find out what it is for yourself and try the puzzle on your own, which I would highly recommend because it is a really cool puzzle. All right, so I did a death abuse there to freeze the cycles that are coming up in the gem path. You kind of pass close enough to them getting up there that they activate, and this is just easier without them. So I need Akano like hyper spin speed for this to work. So there we go. Yep. So stuff is not fully loaded in, but everything is still like physical, solid. And then another hyper spin there. I got that first try. I'm not complaining.
Yeah, that was actually really impressive.
Wow.
This skip you either get it first try or you get it like 15th try. There's no in between. And then it also has the nice side effect of I keep Akano for this section, which you're not supposed to be able to do. That's why I bounced on the nitros to go like really high up before I hit the checkpoint. Is that actually bypassed a trigger that takes away Akano from you. And this is something that's done in any percent in both Enhanced and in Vanilla Crash 4. But in all clear gems and regular Crash 4, you don't keep Akano here because there's no point. But because you do that skip, it just has the side effect of you get to keep Akano for that section, which is nice because it speeds it up a little bit. And then this section is a bit of an auto-scroller, but there were crates added that you can just jump along so you don't have to wait on the moving platforms. And then we're coming up to the end of the level here. I'm just going to go ahead and damage abuse there because I'm not going to need this mask for much longer. That was one of the 2 hidden crates that was like pretty notorious in this level.
I'm surprised you still kept it.
There was Wumper Fruit that was hinting towards it being there, and it was also moved to actually be visible on screen. And then there was another hidden crate right before that just got removed entirely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was off balance.
That was a really good off balance.
Yeah, that was a very good pass of it. I'm pretty happy with that.
Especially with the hidden gem path, having to maneuver that like without being able to see like majority of it. Like that was honestly
that one definitely took some like that was discovered by a user named Rosscat, who's kind of just responsible for finding 90% of the skips in Crash 4. And I saw them post a video of it, and then from that I kind of just pieced together the inputs I needed to do.
Hold still.
Gotta love muscle memory.
Yeah. So this is the second boss fight. This is with Brio. If you know of the Brio boss fight in Crash 1, this is kind of basically the same idea and structure. He throws beakers at us, we dodge them, and then we hit stuff back at him. Gelatinous fiddlesticks.
I love that line.
And then right when he gets down to 1 health, he just shifts into another phase where he just drinks his potion and turns into a huge Hulk monster.
Ooze your way to. Oh! Why? Why don't people take me seriously?
Yeah, so I have very specific movement I do here. I think I'm the only person who does the movement like this, but it works for me. Yeah, so there's a weird quirk with this phase of the fight where you're supposed to push him off with Akano, and it's supposed to take multiple pushes. But if you knock him towards the edge and then shift out of Akano, for some reason he just gets knocked back a second time. So it just saves having to hit him twice, just like that.
Yeah, I think that was also another trick that was found by accident.
Yeah, I think I like when I was first running the game when it came out, I noticed it, but like kind of just didn't subconsciously like take note that it was a significant thing. And then like the more I did, I was like, wait a minute, why is he doing that? Yeah. So this is the point in the vanilla game where you would unlock the inverted mode. But like I said, it's not really a thing in enhanced. There is an additional like file that you can install with the mod to put inverted mode back in the game, but even if you do, it's completely optional.
Also, that message that you skipped, I heard from someone saying that they actually changed that. From,
so in the original like version 1.0 of the mod, it changed it to say inverted mode is gone. And it was just like in the regular Crash 4, this is where you would unlock inverted mode, but it's been removed from enhanced. It got changed back to the regular message when the version 2 added it back. So, which made me kind of sad because I thought it was really funny.
I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah. So I need to be very careful about something here because I discovered something a few days ago as to why I kept missing 2 crates in this level. So I'll get through this and then I'll explain. All right.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah.
What it is.
So the way TNTs are supposed to work in this game, not just this mod, in this game, is if a TNT is counting down and then you break a checkpoint, the checkpoint will still count that TNT and any crates that it was supposed to blow up with it. And there were a couple crates or a couple TNTs where, due to like programming oversight, they didn't do that. So if you would like break the checkpoint and then die before the next checkpoint, the TNTs would just not be counted. Most of these got sorted out, but as I found out a couple of days ago, that one got missed. So there was 2 separate runs where I got this far, including one where I was on a really good pace and then got to the end and just saw like missing 2 boxes. And like, I was like, I can't think of crates I missed. And then Super Sphere went through the VOD and was like, I didn't see anything you missed either. And I was like, wait, I think I know what it might be then. So
yeah.
So that just kind of just got overlooked. Fortunately, the next checkpoint after that isn't very far, but I just wanted to play it safe here in case.
Totally understandable.
And then I'm going to just use the masks here just to avoid waiting for those TNTs. Something I haven't really talked about is a lot of the bonuses also had a design change where a lot of the bonuses in Crash 4 have a theme going on where their whole thing is you go to the end of the bonus round, hit something, go back to the beginning of the bonus round, get something else, and then go back to the end of the bonus round again. And then the mod, again, just kind of tones down a lot of that, so there's significantly less backtracking in the bonuses. Offbeat's one of the bonuses that got changed with that.
Also, I'm just realizing the cannons shoot you way faster than they do in the base game.
Yeah, in the base game, they like tap their foot like 3 times and then launch you, and then here they like tap their foot once and then you're just gone.
That's another neat quality of life change.
Sometimes these cubes get really mad when you step on them and like, no, I'm not going to move for you.
Oh, they even removed the cube there and placed it with a drum. That's actually a neat change.
Yeah, a lot of the changes were also done to like make time trialing less inconsistent with cycles. So
yeah, I guess I'm going to be the detractor here and just kind of point out the changes from the base game to the mod.
I mean, that's honestly a good thing because I've done so much more enhanced than regular Crash 4 in the past year that a lot of the more subtle changes I just don't even think about anymore. So it's nice to have somebody who's mostly experienced with vanilla just to point out the things that I miss.
Well, I'll be, like I said, I'll be on the lookout for them. And yes, chat, you can spin those guys.
Yep. And then that cannon also launches faster. It's less of an arc into the air before you land on the rail. Chat, use all of your dance emotes for this part. Also, there's a really cool crate formation that they added here.
All right.
You break them in tune with the song.
I love that. That's so cool. Yeah, I just noticed it as we were breaking it. That's cute. I love that.
All right, so we are finally coming up on the second alternate character, and this is personally my favorite of the 3 alternate characters. This is Dingodile.
Yeah, personally my favorite also.
Time for a spring cleaning.
Yeah, so Dingodile,
Jump on a team.
his biggest thing is just the vacuum, which he can use to suck up enemies and crates. And he can also use it to hover, so he has a lot more aerial mobility than the other characters, which is very, very fun.
Bastards!
He's also the most potty-mouthed, I'm very sorry.
He is the reason why this game is rated E10.
Yeah, so the basic movement speed with Dingodile can't really be sped up, but there's nothing about him that like specifically slows down, unlike Tana. And the aerial mobility that you have is just really cool. So, and then the hidden gem is supposed, like in the original version of Crash 4, is like back there in a hidden path, but it got moved, so you only have to get those crates there. There's actually like a giant like wall of iron crates to stop you from going that direction.
Oh, that's actually funny. R.I.P. those bats.
They're fine. This level in any percent has like 3 different skips that are really cool and all very frustrating.
Yeah. It's so funny. It's been a while since I've actually seen that portion of the level. It just almost looked boring to me as an 80% runner.
Yep. So again, there's this like offshoot path here that in the original Crash 4 has a bunch of crates, but it's just changed to have the hidden gem now.
There we are.
It looks a lot cleaner.
Yeah.
And I want to quickly remind chat that your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel helps support Games Done Quick Hotfix. So if you enjoy watching speedruns or speedrun adjacent content, please consider subscribing to the channel. You can get access to our emotes and chat with other subscribers during our replays.
That's not what I wanted the barrel to home in on.
I noticed that happen. Yeah, I've noticed that happen very frequently with this version.
I'm just gonna burn the mask there. I don't like burning the mask there, but I've concluded that's like the cleanest way to take care of that bat. Because you're supposed to like take the TNTs from their hands, but that is kind of time consuming. I also have no idea how that TNT missed.
It like phased through the very corner there. That was odd.
Yeah. Yeah, so like taking the TNTs from the bats is fairly time consuming, and then usually I just try to go under them like that, because then they just drop them. But like that's all over water, so it's really like annoying to do that for that bat specifically, so I just take the hit there. And then there I just kind of did a bypassing a hazard and also breaking a crate at the same time.
2 birds, 1 stone.
And then take that one to hit that guy. This is a level that I kind of just freestyle depending on like how the cycles line up. The cycles just lined up really well. Of course, it didn't break one of them. Oh, but I got a double snipe on those TNTs, so I'll take it.
Yeah, Dingo Dow giveth and taketh away.
Them wampus.
It's funny, even with like the reduced amount of crates, that level still had 343 crates, which sounds like a lot, but with Dingo Dial levels specifically, there's like a bunch of crates just like grouped together because of how big his like hitbox is. So like one like clump of crates can be like 25 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is another alternate timeline level. This is Tharhi Blows, which is the alternate timeline version of Booty Calls, which was the first level of the pirate hub. I don't even remember what hub number it is. I've lost track. There's too many of them.
Hub 3.
Yeah. This is also like the shortest like alternate timeline, like alternate character section of a timeline level. So in this mod, it is also the shortest level in the run.
Yeah,
and it still has way more crates than Potion Commotion, because Dingo Dow just has so many in his levels compared to Tana.
Mm-hmm. They just had to accommodate for his big size.
You smell good enough to eat.
And that was that level.
Yeah, again, with these alternate timeline levels in this mod specifically, they just skip straight to the end, which I think is a really nice detail.
Yeah, it does make them... It does have the side effect of some of the levels being really short, but I take that over them being way too long. Speaking of long levels, this is a pretty lengthy one, but it's a pretty cool one. So this is Run It Bayou. This level has the last of the four color gems that we're getting. I need to remember there's a purple gem in this mod. Yeah, so I'm skipping crates because I'm gonna get the yellow gem here and then Death Abuse. This is probably the yellow gem, the color gem puzzle that got changed the most. So the yellow gem's right there, and you're supposed to like bounce on the arrow crates to get it. In In the vanilla version, there's just no puzzle. You can just see the yellow gem in the horizon when you spawn into the level, and it's just like above that like left platform over there.
And they also removed those
so-
hidden crates. Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah, so they updated this puzzle by adding a puzzle.
Woo, that was slick.
Yeah.
Very close.
Yeah, these countdown crates that you have to trigger them being active, and then there's a timer before they go like intangible again. Those ones were made a bit more lenient as well, because in vanilla, if you were a couple seconds late on those crates, you just would miss at least one of them, and then at that point you might as well just reset the level, because you just have to die to go back to the start anyway. Yeah, so because this level introduces the countdown crates, they're a pretty big gimmick throughout all of it. Yeah, so this bonus is a slight homage to the G-Wiz bonus from Crash 3. All right.
Nicely done.
Yeah, this level also has a very cool skip in any percent, but we unfortunately will not be seeing it in this run. Something else I should mention that the mod does that's not relevant to this category, but is something related to the time trials and the relics. So Vanilla Crash 4, to get full completion, you actually need to get the platinum relics in every level. Where the platinum relics, in terms of like the time you have to get, are far more lenient than they are in basically any other Crash game, but they're still very difficult by nature of the game itself just being hard. So the mod tones that down by just making it so that the platinum relics, like in every other Crash game, are just optional. So you only need the sapphire relics to get 104% in this mod. Just thought I'd point that out. It's not going to be relevant here because I'm not doing the time trials for this run. The 104% category is cool, but the time trials, again, add like an extra 2 hours. And then the flashback tapes are like another half hour of unique levels, but I personally am not the biggest fan of them in a speedrun setting. I think they're very cool casually, but they're very rough speed-wise. My favorite sound effect, he did it.
And the first one, too.
Yep. He just says he makes a random noise whenever he's like in front of a TNT wall, and my favorite one is when he just looks at it and goes, "Yeah."
We love you, funny armadillo.
Yeah. We actually get 2 opportunities for him to say it because we are going to do a timeline level where he shows up after this.
By the way, chat, if you haven't heard, we are restreaming the French Marathon Speedruns 2025 from February 27th through March 2nd, and that is benefiting doctors of the world. Use ! Speedruns in chat to learn more. I will be on commentating Super Monkey Ball 2, as you can expect from me, of course. But yeah, it'll be great. That'll be a lot of fun. Make sure you tune in.
Yeah, so I did a little damage abuse right before that, this last river section, just because, again, I'm not going to keep these masks anyway. There was also another mask on this route. So just saves a little bit of time. There's a like physics bug you can get there where you get like a very fast like ramp boost, and then it can carry like all the way down the river. I did not get it, unfortunately. The armadillo blessed the run with that sound effect, getting that first try.
Can we go 2 for 2?
I don't think I've ever gotten it twice in one run. It would be so great if that happened, though. Yeah, so we're coming up on the next hub, but right before that, we do have another alternate timeline level.
With our good pal, Dingodile.
Yep. So this is no dillo-dallying. This is an alternate timeline level of Run It By You, the level we just did.
That's more like it. Now, which way's me done?
So this is like one of the levels where I really appreciate the timeline level being reduced to just the alternate character, because this is a fairly lengthy like Dingodile section, and it's a fun one. But then it takes you like right into the like Crash and Coco section at the end, where you're like on the food truck, just like sitting around and like waiting for it to move. So like the last portion of the level where you play as Crash and Coco is kind of just an auto scroller. So I'm glad it's just removed and you just play as Dingodile.
Oh, that's nice. I love Dingodile. Such a good addition to this game.
Dingodile is great. Yeah, so something with Dingodile, his spin hitbox is so huge that you can like bounce off of crates, and then after you bounce off of them, spin, and he will still hit them. So you're gonna see me do that a lot throughout like the entire run whenever I play as Dingodile. And it can also be used to destroy explosives without getting hit by them. So I'm gonna take this bat on a little like fun little ride and then throw him into some nitros.
Don't worry, he's fine.
Yeah, he's okay. He was very cozy. If I do things right, I can keep this mask for a damage abuse at the very end. This never goes right, by the way, so. Except for right now where it just did.
Hey, there you go.
I honestly think in the entire like 2 weeks I've been derusting this, I did not keep that mask to this level until literally this exact moment.
You got it out of the way right before the main event, so there you go.
Yep. All right, so coming up is the Snow Hub. This is probably, honestly, like, if not my favorite hub, it's like top 2 or top 3. It's a really good one. All of the levels here are great. This was the level that was available. It was one of the 2 levels available in the demo of the game before Crash 4 came out. So I have a very deep personal history with this level, which is probably why I like it so much.
It was this level, and I believe it was Dino Dash that were the 2 demo levels.
Yeah, there was also Ship Happens, which is the timeline version of this level, so it was basically 2 levels.
All right, so I'll take the time to point out here. So this is our 3rd Quantum Mask in the game, called Kapunawa, and her ability is time stop, basically. So a neat interaction with this time mask is you can just ride across nitro carts and basically delay their explosion. And you can manipulate that to basically like shift time by pressing the mask button. And a neat little trick you can also do is bounce off of those nitro crates if you press both of the time mask buttons, like Kylie did just there. And you could just bounce off of them and you'll be out of range of the explosion for the nitros, which is
there's a trick with Kapunawa that unfortunately we're not going to see too much of in this run, just because it's not really worth it compared to any percent. But there's a trick called the time warp, where if you hit both mask triggers at the same time, so immediately stop time and then unstop time, you kind of like warp forward a little bit, like there. I don't know how easy it was to see that. It's a lot stronger at lower FPS, so in any percent, there's like a specific point in this level where you just drop to 30 and then just like blaze through the level with time warp. But when adding in like having to break crates, it's not really worth doing in completion, because it is a lot weaker at like frame rates above 60. It's honestly even pretty weak at 60 compared to 30. But it still has some use, so I throw it in where I can. Like I use it to avoid the nitros in the bonus. And then I might like throw it in at a place where I could use it to jump. But in this level, it's not really convenient to do. But it'll come up in some of the other levels. There I did it. It's like very subtle because my game runs at like roughly 120 to 140 FPS.
Yeah, it's very subtle, but if you lower the frame rate down, then you can see a huge gap between like in distance.
Yeah.
It was definitely still noticeable if you're looking for it. Like I caught it a little bit.
Yeah, it's crazy though. If you do it at like 30 FPS, you jump like very noticeably forward, and you can chain it so much quicker than you can at 120. Like for some reason, at like at 30, you can like instantaneously chain one into another. So you spend the whole level like mashing triangle and R2, and you just like fly through the level.
Sounds awesome. I have to go check out what that looks like later.
Yeah, for the JoJo lovers out there, they refer to it as King Crimson. So that's basically how you would describe it.
So the next level is Stay Frosty. I like to call this level Stay Cursed because it's not really a hard level, but something always goes wrong.
Yeah, surface level, it's like, it's really unassuming. It's very simple, but just so many things here is like so odd and out of place that a lot of things can really kill you when you're not paying attention.
Something I do want to know, this is the first of a couple levels where like you start to see Cortex's influence and he has like a bunch of monitors of him like looking at you, like scattered throughout the level. The video file of Cortex like staring at you is just an MP4 file in the game's folders. And if you change the MP4 file, you can change the monitor screen to be anything. I didn't do anything like that, I promise.
I believe you.
Yeah, there was no tomfoolery going on. All the monitors will be completely normal.
You were saying?
Well, I mistimed that, for one. Let's try that again.
Yeah.
That wasn't even like, oh, something went wrong. That was just a skill issue on my part.
Take two.
I think I was trying to like line up a time warp and then I just did it completely wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the time warp is more evident on the rails because, as you know, that the rails are the auto section, or basically like a auto scroller. So it advances you forward just slightly, since you're not really gaining any forward momentum with holding up. Just makes it a slight bit faster.
Yeah, at 30 FPS, you can actually go so fast there that you accidentally skip the trigger for the doors to start going up and down, and then you can just make the rail uncompletable.
Learned that the hard way. That's a neat little jump that you get there, just to have to avoid using the jump crate on the very far right there.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
That was a classic Crash 4 moment where you like just barely jump before you land on something, so you get a double jump. I also got a HUD glitch here where the HUD is just frozen in place. It doesn't actually affect anything. Like I can still get the gems and everything. It's just that the HUD itself would not be working, but then I died again. So, as I was saying, stay cursed.
Gotta love flame crates.
My favorite addition to the Crash Bandicoot universe. Honestly, it's not even like low on my list of things I've disliked or additions that I've found to be questionable. It's definitely one of my least favorite aspects of Crash 4, but series-wide, they're pretty inoffensive.
Oh. What was that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Pretty sure I just saw something there, but...
No, you're imagining things. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Everything is completely normal here.
I'm about to show my age here, but it's like that one joke from Homestar Runner. It's like everything's fine. There's nothing to worry about.
Oh, I love Homestar Runner. I guess I'm showing my age too then.
I actually think you're older than me.
I am, yeah, but I think by like 2 years, so I definitely got that reference.
And I am not a youngin', so.
Yeah, I'm gonna make you both feel
everybody
old
in
and say
chat's
that was before my time.
so surprised by that level.
Sorry,
A very surprising level indeed.
Your movement is just so good. It leaves people amazed.
That was not supposed to be a body slam.
That was dangerously close to that TNT.
So anyway, the L1 button, as I said before, is completely unused.
Take notes.
Yeah, so this is bears repeating. This level was quite infamous in the original PS4 release of the game because of some obnoxious hitboxes or lack thereof in the later portion. And as such, I used to call this level bears repeating and repeating and repeating. But it's been fixed. It's fine now. All right, so we have, I think Yeah, this is the third of the 4 color gem paths. This one is an homage to the bridge levels from Crash 1. This is definitely like very fun to do with hyperspin, but also very scary. Yeah, we use Kapunawa here and then grab the gem, and then once again just death abuse to avoid taking the gem back.
Yeah, it is considerably faster.
That's probably like the shortest gem ride back out of the 3, but it's still like without even like checking it myself, it's probably still faster. The last one, the blue gem path, is like noticeably faster to just death abuse in. But here's a couple things. I'm skipping a cycle there, and you might have also noticed I missed a crate. That was not on accident, by evidence of the fact that I'm pointing out that I missed a crate. There is a box duplication glitch in this level that I'm going to go for, and I really hope I get it, because if I don't, I have to restart the level.
Yeah, that would not be good.
Yeah.
So you could do this box duplication. Oh.
Or I could just... I don't even know.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened.
You have a second chance. There you go. Yeah, so if you want to explain, go ahead.
Oh, I actually got 2 of them.
Nice.
Actually, let me do the bonus first, because if I die in the bonus, I lose this.
Okay. Well, I guess
if you want to explain
it,
go ahead.
Then I will explain it. Yeah. So before you enter this bonus room, you'll see that that Kylie did like a delay on entering the bonus room by destroying those 2 TNT, and what that did was basically made her get 2 extra boxes there, so you can be able to complete getting all the boxes without having to go out of your way to get that one single box that she was mentioning earlier.
Yeah, a lot. So the TLDR is that the 2 crates that were the TNTs counting down end up counting for both the main level and the bonus, so they both count up twice. If you do it quick enough, you can dupe both of them like I just did. Generally, I only end up duping one, hence why I only skip the 1 crate. I could theoretically skip another, but there isn't really another good one to skip.
Yeah, I think a funny visual glitch of that is if you get the double dupe, the game counter doesn't turn into a gem. It just says you have like, say, 392 over 390, and it doesn't give you the gem animation, but you still get the gem anyway.
Yeah, which is different from Crash 2, which also has a box dupe glitch in Cold Hard Crash. In that one, if you go over the intended crate count, you don't get the gem at all. It'll just say like 356 out of 355 and then not give you the gem. But here, it'll give you the gem regardless, so it's not a problem. So like coming up here, we're going to see it say like 269 out of 268, but I'll still get the gem. Just like that.
There you go. Nice.
So yeah, I skipped the crate and still went 1 over.
There you go.
Yeah.
All your problems.
So that box tube is actually in Vanilla Crash 4. It's in the game, but it's not in that level. It's in the next level, which is Building Bridges, which is the timeline version of this level.
Oh, this level.
When Ray Roby, the guy who made the mod, condensed down the alternate timeline levels, he took some of their crate formations and put them in the base levels if he thought that they were like more interesting. So the TNT setup that we just saw in Vanilla Crash 4 is actually the TNT setup from Building Bridges, as opposed to Bears Repeating.
Yeah, I like that setup more just because of the fact of the box duplication glitch existing.
Yeah.
Please let the next world be a beach world. Sunshine and sand.
Yeah, so it's like in Vanilla Crash 4, you would do the box dupe, but you would skip a crate here, as opposed to in the main level. It would be, I think there used to be a crate like just off to the side in like one of these paths. I think it might have been like right here. Or actually, it might have been like a checkpoint that he skipped. I'm thinking because I would never skip it here, but I'm just thinking like what Cookie does in his world record. And I think he just skips the checkpoint in this section.
I was hoping you got that hidden gem there. So
yeah.
There you go. Yeah, that's the end of the level. Very nice.
All right, and we're coming up to the third boss fight, which is 4th time's a charm. This is the first fight with Cortex. So.
Yeah, this would be what is considered as, for both categories, the halfway point of the run.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah.
I've made a few upgrades.
So
With
you're
that
supposed
in
to.
mind, I think we will take a quick wellness break after this.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yes.
Giant
So you're supposed to use the time mask to dodge stuff. I'm gonna mostly not be doing that. Yeah, if you just stand in place, he just doesn't drop other missiles, and then you can just dodge the hitbox by jumping. But that only works on the first phase.
Yeah.
Ow! Punchbot Mark II is for punching you, not me.
Yeah.
So another neat thing about this fight is if you time your spins just right and at a certain angle, the punch bots can actually be duplicated, and it'll be evident if you see the punch bot go in and not have one of those like the hit animation, the little purple sparks or the puff cloud that you see hitting Cortex. If you manage to avoid that and still get the health bar down one, if you do a death abuse here, you'll spawn a second one, and that could be really, really good for the final phase because you have to wait a long time for Cortex to spawn the final one. But it looks like we won't be seeing that here.
Yeah, I'm very bad at it, so I get it sometimes. I got it in a run a few days ago, but I'm not consistent at it at all. But yeah, if you are able to get it, yeah, you just skip the entire last phase of him attacking you.
If you
do have to wait for the health bar to show up again, because if you were to try and kill him right now, it would soft lock the fight. So
Yeah, and
I used to have a swag walking strat here, that kind of like what I did in the third phase. It doesn't work as well in the mod because I think the hitboxes for the missiles were made bigger, so they actually end up hitting me at a certain point. So I actually have to do this normally, which is very scary when you don't have when you're trying to not use the time mask because it slows things down.
I actually didn't know they adjusted the hurtbox of that for this mod.
All right, we can pause here for the wellness break.
Yep, so we're going to take a real quick break. This is a long run, so this will be a great time for you all to, go get some water, stretch, maybe grab a snack for the second half, take your meds if you need to, anything of that nature. But yeah, do not go anywhere. We will be right back with the rest of this run in just a few minutes. Hello everyone, welcome back to Parallel Universe on GDQ Hotfix. This is the show about community-created content, and as such, we have a mod on right now. I'm Helix, and I'm here with Kylie QB running Crash 4 Enhanced. Kylie, take it away.
All right, welcome back. We have gone through half of Crash 4 Enhanced, and now we have to go through the other half. For those who missed the first half, this is basically a mod of Crash 4 for the PC version that takes the 100% requirements and kind of just significantly tones them down to be less tedious and less unfair and more in line with how it is in the older Crash games. But yeah, let's I'll count down and then we can continue to the next level.
Yep,
all right.
Sounds good to me.
3, 2, 1, go. I forgot I had to press the button twice.
Yeah, you got it.
I kind of just mashed through every menu, so I don't even think about it. Yeah, so this is the start of the Eggipus dimension. This is basically just dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are pretty cool.
I agree.
Yeah. So lore-wise, what happens at this point is after you beat Cortex... Oh, wow, I messed this up. Let's start over.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
the countdown ran out. Yeah, so at this point, after you beat Cortex, he gets double-crossed by Entropy. So because of that, Cortex teams up with Crash and Coco to stop Entropy from taking over the multiverse. So we're going to have playable Cortex very soon.
There you go. Oh, very nice.
It's fine. Nothing bad ever happens in this level.
This is another one of those unassuming levels in the speedrun, both for this category and for 100%, where on surface level, it looks very straightforward, but a lot of the little things can really just get you when you're not paying attention.
In 100% especially, this is a very scary level because it is one of the 2 levels where I want to get triple mask. And there are exactly 3 mask crates in the level, so I have to be very careful not to die or take a hit. Otherwise, I lose a good bit of time in the later half of the level.
Yeah, so Kylie's going to be playing it very safe here. Just to make
for
sure
those
she
that
maintains
don't know how triple mask works in Crash Bandicoot, it basically makes you invulnerable for about 20 seconds. It also plays some really cool bongos at the same time. So win-win. But if you see how treacherous those upcoming hazards look, you might be able to piece together why triple mask is fairly useful here. Yeah, this bonus can be scary because these countdown crates are very strict in their timing.
And you lose those masks if you lose in the bonus room, so gotta play very safe here.
If you lose the masks in the bonus level, you lose them in real life.
Spooky.
Oh, okay. So we're not completely out of the clear, but that was probably the roughest part out of the way. I do also have to use Kapuna while here to slow these tentacles down. All right, and here's the triple mask. So along with making it so I can just go through the plants without worrying about them, it also lets me break these reinforced crates without having to body slam them, which is where the bulk of the time save really comes from. And then look at this irregularly placed reinforced crate. Surely there's nothing up here, right?
That's where they put the new hidden gem location.
Yeah, that is also one that carried over from the inverted version of the level from the original game. And that one is probably like a poster child example of great idea, terrible execution. Because in regular Crash 4, there is no indication that there's anything above the reinforced crate because it is properly lined up with the bounce crate that's below it. So like you just unassumingly don't even think about it.
Another one of those things.
So that one, so there, the mod moving it slightly to the side hints to you like, hey, there's something above this. You should check it out. And the way I do it is not how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to like use the arrow crate below the bounce crate to just like bounce above it. But with the triple mask, I can just land on the reinforced crate and have enough time to just crouch and double jump to get it. All right, so this is Fossil Fueled. This is the first level where we play as Cortex. Cortex is one of the more controversial characters in this game in terms of people's enjoyment. He is by far the most different character because he doesn't spin. He can't actually kill enemies. He can only like transform them into like platforms. So he's definitely more of like a puzzle platform like character. I personally like him, but I feel like I'm in the minority there. The mod does tweak a couple things to make him a bit less annoying to use. They make his jump a little bit higher because he had a very, very pitiful jump in regular Crash 4. It's really not that great here either, but it is much better. You can make jumps that like in regular Crash 4 you can't, and then you're just like, why can you not make that jump?
Yeah, and it also doesn't help that the geometry on most of these Cortex levels are like specifically designed just so you have to like really get the apex of your jump to really just clear it because of his lack of knees.
Yeah, his this level in particular has really irregular like geometry, which can make it very easy to just slip off of stuff. The other change they made to Cortex is that the hitbox of his dash attack here is a little further forward in front of him, so he doesn't like clip other things as much. Or it's like there'd be a lot of times where you would do the dash and it just wouldn't hit anything. So actually, I can't remember if it was that or if they moved it back so you don't clip things. It's one of the two things changed. They changed the hitbox to be better. That's what I know.
Just one of those patch notes things.
Actually, I think it's the second one. I think it's moved back so it clips less because there's a trick in an upcoming Cortex level that doesn't work in Enhanced, and I think it's because the hitbox is like further back. So yeah, that's what it was. It was changed to be further back so you clip less things.
Mm-hmm. Did they adjust the issue where sometimes if you're transferring from the 3D plane to the 2D plane, does it still mess up his angle of where he dashes, or did they fix that?
I don't know, because I've kind of just played around that anyway, because that really only happens, I think, in like one spot, one or two spots, so it's not really a huge issue.
Just a funny story about that. I think, I don't know who it was, but I was watching someone play this, and they're in the end here. I don't know if they still have the nitro, but there is a nitro that's placed. Oh, they removed it. Okay, so before that end crate, there is a stack of nitros that is conveniently placed right next to the very end. And because of the fact that it changes from 2D back to 3D during that area, it messed with the angle, and they just went straight into the nitros. It had to go all the way back to the checkpoint. I was just like laughing so hard. It was, oh man, it was a treat. I felt so bad, but I also was just like dying laughing.
Yep. So the next level is Ship Happens. This was the other level in the demo. It's the alternate timeline version of Snow Way Out. There's not too much going on here, so I actually want to explain another enhanced exclusive skip that is not used in this category, but is used in any percent and 104%. And it has to do with this level, but it is a skip in Snow Way Out. So the way the timeline levels are programmed, they kind of just have all of the like same triggers as like the base levels. So in Snow Way Out, the trigger to like go from Ship Happens playing as Cortex to playing as Crash and Coco still exists. And if you go out of bounds with like just like standing on like scenery, you can hit that trigger in Snow Way Out. And in Vanilla Crash 4, if you were to do that, it would just warp you a couple feet forward, because you would warp to the section where you start playing as Crash and Coco. But in Enhanced, it warps you to the end of the level, because of how the alternate timeline levels work in this version. So there's a skip in Snow Way Out where you just go out of bounds, hit the trigger that I just hit there, and it just takes you to the end of the level. But we sadly do not get to see it here.
Yeah.
All right. And then right after that, we have the final level that was in the demo before the game came out, which is Dino Dash. This level is honestly one of my favorites. I think it's very cool.
Mm-hmm. I think what I like the most about this level is just how many like whole skips that you do because of like the timing and like the distance you get with your slide spins and how like clean it looks if done in succession.
Yeah. Before the game came out, I was doing speedruns of the demo, and I remember one of my runs was shown on like the IGN Devs React. So the developers at Toys for Bob got to react to me running through this level, and they were kind of just blown away by the whole skips. It's like a very good snapshot of how you can do stuff with slide spinning. I also really like this chase section with the hyperspin. I like it better when I actually land on the level though.
Yeah, just one of those little edge curves there that just unassumingly just looks like you would land on it, but nope, just drops you to your doom.
Yeah, and then I can avoid these crates because the dinosaur breaks them anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And then there I did a, you can double jump out of a spin, and that makes breaking bounce crates that are like suspended in the air a lot faster because you don't have to bounce on them.
Mm-hmm. I was just going to make a note.
I'm going to wait this cycle out. I don't trust it.
Yeah, that looked really bad. I was just going to point out that this level in particular, because of the fact that you have like the hyperspin, it looks so much cleaner than it did in vanilla, just because of how fast you really like go through.
Yeah, in vanilla, there's like two different routes that get used in all clear gems. There's the route that does all the timeline levels immediately, and then ends on Cortex, the final boss. Spoilers, I guess. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
Oh no, Cortex, the main villain of Crash Bandicoot, is the final boss in Crash Bandicoot 4.
I can't believe this.
You're kidding.
But
yeah.
There's another route that instead of ending on Cortex, it saves all the timeline levels for after you get the triple spin, and so you do all the timeline levels with the triple spin. In most of the timeline levels, the difference is pretty marginal, to the point that the world record doesn't even do the route because he just prefers ending on the final boss. Mm-hmm. This is the one level, or I guess Rock Block, which is the level coming up that's the timeline version of it. This is the one level where the triple spin is extremely useful. Just because it lets you... Triple spin is at its most powerful, or hyper spin in this case, I guess, is at its most powerful in the air, because it's the only way you can speed yourself up in the air. And there's just a lot of aerial movement in this level.
Yeah. Also, another thing about the hyperspin that I don't know if this is the same case for the mod, but when you unlock the hyperspin, or the triple spin rather, in vanilla, you also get extended distance on your slide spin before you go into your actual like triple spin movement. Is that the same case here?
I think that's just a case of like if you rhythmically time your slide spin so it lines up with the triple spin movement, it just kind of carries over into the slide spin. So that might be a thing here, but because I usually just do the triple spin without sliding, I don't really notice it coming up.
That makes sense.
May I assist?
I see someone in the chat saying that they like Cortex's gameplay in this game compared to Twin Sanity, and I just have to say, as Twin Sanity's biggest fangirl, I agree. I think he's way more fun in this game.
I would have to concur as well. Like, I really enjoy, like, I actually, because like in Twin Sanity, he's just more of like a run and gun kind of guy. He doesn't really.
He's puzzle, but no platform.
Exactly, yeah, and you get the best of both worlds in this.
Also,
game, so.
Incidentally, he's one of the things that in the Twin Sanity speedrun you skip. Like, you actually never play as Cortex outside of like the boss fights where you have to. All right, so this is rock blocked. I would say this is probably the level that by far benefits the most from the timeline levels being cut down to just the non-Crash and Coco character. Because you're about to see just how long this Dingo Dial section is. And then after you get through this, in Vanilla Crash 4, it would warp you all the way to like right after the first chase in Dino Dash, so you would still have like the majority of the level to still do. I don't remember if this is the longest level in regular Crash 4, but it's like definitely in like the top 3 longest, I think.
Well, without stating the obvious longest one being Rush Hour in Vanilla.
This might actually be longer than Rush Hour. I'm not sure.
Really?
Rush Hour doesn't have the bonus is the thing.
Oh, true.
But like Rush Hour is extremely long.
Yeah.
And that also gets addressed in the mod, but I'll talk about that more when we get to it. Yeah. This level, it's tragic because I think the Dingo Dial section of this level is really cool. But like doing all of this and then having to like do Dino Dash right after again really brings it down. So like in Enhanced specifically, I actually really like this level.
And this is like the only
in regular like Crash 4 all clear gems, this is like one of my least favorite levels in the run.
Yeah, just because of how obnoxious the length of it is. And this is only the only time that you get to see Dingo in the 2D sections, correct?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I wish they explored on that a little more.
Yeah,
So I'm breaking this checkpoint and then getting this hidden gem, and then I'm just going to Death Abuse instead of, okay, well, I could just do that instead.
Just
At that point, it might have been faster to just go back, but it's easier to Death Abuse. So yeah, this is where let's just do it again.
All right.
I was going to say this is where you use the bounce hitbox to... See, now that I'm trying to explain it, it's not working.
The devs have it out for you.
Oh no, I missed the 3 death gem.
Oh, whatever.
Good thing it's not. Okay, I'm going to stop doing it here. I'm doing it on the wrong one.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah. There we go. Okay, well, that time it didn't work. Okay,
There it is, yeah.
Yeah, so if you bounce if you spin right after a bounce, you can break the crate that's below the one you just bounced off of. I'm glad I got that first try and nothing went wrong.
Yeah, of course. Just,
Yeah, so after that really long level, we would have had to do all of Dino Dash again, but we don't do that here.
Yeah. Thank you, mods.
All right, so we're coming up on the 7th of 10 hubs. 10 hubs is a lot for Crash Bandicoot. They usually only have like 5, but they're also a little over half the length of normal hubs, so it kind of evens out. It's still longer than the PS1 Crash games. It has like 30 levels compared to 25 that are mandatory, but overall it's still like not too egregiously long. So this is the final Quantum Mask. This is Ika Ika, and his thing is anti-gravity. I have never died to that.
So I guess I'll take a little bit of time to explain Ika's ability here. So with the power mask, you can just press a button and it'll invert gravity as you see here. But as simple as just swapping between gravity is, this is arguably one of the most broken masks in the entire game.
I promise I'll eventually get to show it to you guys.
Yeah.
I like how I've never died to that obstacle before, and now I've just done it twice.
Third time charm? No, not this time. Nope.
No, fourth time's a charm.
True.
Oh, nope. Third, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, so as I was stating earlier, in the any percent run in particular, there are multiple ways where you can bypass the little checkpoint, the flags, where it would force you to unequip the mask.
I wanted that mask.
Unfortunate there. But yeah, so because of the fact that there are certain ways that you can just bypass the flag that would like let you that'll take away your mask, you could just be able to keep it for the entirety of the level depending on where you are.
I really wanted that mask. This is where the hidden gem is, and it's kind of annoying to do without a mask.
Oh yeah, you kind of snake your way through. Okay. Well, if the game is nice enough, it'll probably just give you a pity mask.
Yeah, I have to die 5 times for that. I'd rather that not be the case.
True.
Hold on. We improvise.
There you go.
Okay.
We did it.
Yeah, this level in any percent is very crazy because you just like go out of bounds and then just use anti-gravity to just fly to the end of the level.
Mm-hmm.
Some more rails with the added gimmick now that you have to also avoid nitros.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, I want to shout out the GDQ Discord, which you all can join by typing !Discord in chat. Yeah, hop in there and give yourself the hotfix roll. That is a great way to stay up to date with all things hotfix. And of course, you can, talk with staff and such. Yeah, good place to be. Good roll to have.
Actually, might do that after this run.
Yeah. Something else I'm really doing with the anti-gravity is using it to like stall like my momentum in the air, so it lets you just make some more like larger gaps than you're supposed to. The limit of anti-gravity is that you can only swap to each like gravity once, so I can't just like spam it. I can like swap to upside down and then swap back to regular once before landing. So this section is like another notorious case of like really bad checkpoint starvation in the vanilla game, where like the checkpoint I broke at the beginning of the side scroller section is the last one in the level in vanilla, but they added one like right there after you clear it.
Yeah,
which is great because there's still like a good bit of level left after that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because then the checkpoint would be down here if you didn't already. Or actually, no.
No, there's no checkpoint at all after that side-scrolling section.
True. Yeah,
like if you die at any point between the side-scroller and the end of the level, you go back to the start of the side-scroller.
Yeah, no, that section was like particularly annoying, especially when I was playing it casually.
Yep. So coming up next is a level called Shipping Error. In Vanilla Crash 4, I loathe this level. It is by far my least favorite in the game, and it's honestly one of my least favorite levels in the series. I still don't love it in Enhanced, but I think it is a lot better, and a lot of that is just, again, the fact that you only do the Cortex section. Because this level is a lot like Rock Blocked, where the Cortex section is very long, but then it takes you to the beginning of Out for Launch. So you basically have to do like 2 whole levels in one go, including a level that you've already beaten. And it's like an even worse version of Out for Launch because for some reason they felt that at no point in Shipping Error did you need a mask in vanilla, which was also rectified in this by putting a mask in the Cortex section.
Oh yeah, that's right. They never did put a mask in this level.
Yeah, This is it. I genuinely think this is a miserable level in Vanilla Crash 4,
Yeah,
even like casually. But it does work a lot better here.
Ooh, good snipe.
I decided to be safe because I messed up the cycles a little bit by missing the first shot. And then I missed that guy, so
Yeah.
now we get to do it again.
Yeah, so you could tell like how like in the later levels that the checkpoint distance, like the checkpoint gaps are like very, very yeah, they're very brutal.
Yeah, a lot of it does get rectified in Enhanced by adding more checkpoints in the later levels. Also, if these deaths are why I broke those 2 crates to the side before I broke the checkpoint, because this is a very common place to die. This is a very tricky part. As I said like earlier in the run, like while the mod does include a bunch of quality of life to make the game far less tedious, it is still Crash 4. It is still a very tough game, especially when you're doing it fast. So I'm not really that upset that I'm dying frequently. That's just kind of part of the territory of running this game.
Just the nature of the beast.
Yep. So that's the mask they added, which is great.
Oh, that's
'cause
convenient.
this is an incredibly annoying part to do maskless.
Yeah, imagine having to navigate through all this and just like so
Without
much
getting
going
hit,
on
yeah.
without getting hit, and then it just brings you all the way back to basically where that last checkpoint was. It's unforgiving.
Yeah, this exclamation crate was the thing I was talking about, where there was a skip you could do in vanilla that you can't do in enhanced because of Cortex's hitbox being moved back. You could actually like dash towards that wall, and Cortex's hitbox would actually hit the exclamation crate through the wall. That doesn't work in enhanced. Oh, I hit that guy a little too close to the...
There you are.
And then having a mask means I can also just dash through this. So yeah,
Yes,
that level is
and
significantly more tolerable in enhanced. And we get to hear Oxide scream into our ears as we finish the level.
Also, for some reason, I don't know if they changed this, but the last rail section, the nitros bounce while you're getting to the end.
There's a whole story with that. So on the original release of the game, in both out for launch and shipping error, they didn't disable the bouncing of the nitros. So you could just get killed on the rails in out for launch through no fault of your own just because you happened to pass a nitro as it was bouncing. They very quickly released a patch that fixed that in out for launch, but not shipping error. And to date, it has never been fixed in shipping error.
Yep. Just
So
another
in Vanilla
layer.
Crash 4, shipping error also has like very bad RNG at the very end of the level. Enhanced, for one, that part of shipping error is just not in the level anymore. But also, none of the nitros in Enhanced bounce, which was just done for the sake of consistency. It's like the nitros bouncing is like a neat little like quirk of theirs that they've had since Crash 2. But from a gameplay perspective, it introduces a lot of like unfairness, especially like in later games where they tend to bounce a lot. Like Nitro and RNG is extremely notorious in the Insane trilogy amongst runners because of just how crazy they can like bounce into the air. And it's like it's not like it's not a thing in the PS1 Crash games, but it's like significantly less impactful compared to the remakes. And Crash 4 kind of fail-safes it a little bit in that if you jump over a nitro and it bounces up into you and hits you, it actually pushes you out of the range of the explosion. But there are still cases where you'll just die to nitro RNG anyway, with shipping error being the most egregious offender. So disabling the nitros bouncing is just a nice quality of life. It's especially useful for the flashback tapes because they're levels that are kind of designed around just nitro platforming. So removing an aspect of RNG from them is very nice.
And you mentioned earlier that the mod basically kind of removed the backtracking in the bonus rooms.
Yeah, that bonus is like definitely one of the biggest ones to benefit from it because stowing away in the vanilla all clear gems run, you really want to bring a mask into that bonus because otherwise you're doing like so much backtracking just waiting for explosive crates. And then there it's just like the mask was nice, but I didn't need it. At most it saved me a couple seconds.
Just another added layer of security at least.
Yeah.
Oh, they changed the formation of that crate there. It's usually on the left side.
I don't even remember what it looks like.
Yeah, they the stack is the same, but they had it along the wall on the left side.
Okay.
So, yeah, so just a little minor difference there.
And then even though we have Econo here, I just hyper spin because using Econo in that section is very weird because of the way it curves. So you don't really get a lot of boost from like Econo hyper spin before you just hit a wall and lose it. So I just hyper spin through it. All right, so coming up is one of the longest and most difficult levels, but it is also one of my favorite, Crash Landed.
This level's great.
This level is probably the single most gorgeous level in the entire game.
Shout out Snowgo.
Yep, just straight up one-to-one copy of the Snowgo like ice platform area at the beginning of the level from Crash 2. So the like pink goop that's along the grounds kind of just serves the similar role to the ice from Crash 2 and the oil from Crash 3. Okay.
All right.
Was there a checkpoint? Nope. That was the first checkpoint. Amazing.
Well, you get to see Snowgo again.
We get to hear more of this song because I love this song, but you hear very little of it because it changes midway through the level when you reach Alien Polar, who we will be introduced to very soon. But yeah, so the pink goop is basically ice physics. All right, let's try this again.
There you go.
And you can do some really fun stuff with that. Like you can do a single slide spin and then just carry your momentum through just skating.
You'll be seeing a lot of that with an added layer when you pick up Ika Ika later.
All right, so this alien is called a Snurgle. His name is Tim. We decided that a long time ago, and it is decreed as law. He is Tim.
Hello, Tim.
Hey, Tim.
Yeah, Tim is our, basically, as Kylie was saying earlier, the Alien Polar.
Yeah, it actually has mechanically the exact same mechanics as Polar from Bears Repeating, who we kind of just glossed over. Like, he was just kind of there, and I didn't even acknowledge him because I was explaining the box dupe. But yeah, it's like Polar is, and I guess by extension Tim, is kind of similar to how he is in Crash 2. With the caveat being that he's a bit weirder to control moving left and right, and I actually find the easiest way to control him is to hold forward and then just kind of like move the analog stick in angles instead of doing like hard lefts and right. All right, so this is the last of the colored gem pass that we're going to see. There are more colored gem pass, but we won't be seeing them as a bit of a spoiler for the rest of the run. Yeah, so this is one that I think benefits greatly from not having any crates in it anymore.
Oh, they completely removed them, yeah.
Yeah, any crates that are still in the color gem pass, if they are there, then they are surrounded by nitro, so you don't need to break them.
That's convenient, actually.
But it also lets you do this, because in vanilla, there's like crates above that section with the big Mama Tims. But without them there, you can just slide diagonally in between them, and I think it's really fun movement. I was supposed to death abuse there. So that's how long the gem animation is if you don't death abuse.
I was gonna say I was just kind of mesmerized by that little diagonal movement there.
I love the movement there. It mesmerizes me too while I'm doing it. I was just like, this is so fun. So this bonus is cool, but I have a tendency to mess it up. Hopefully you don't do that now. Another cute thing you can do with anti-gravity is cancel out a body slam, which is what I did there. And then again, just stalling my momentum to avoid the flame crates.
I was like dangerously close.
Yeah, that's one of the trickier bonuses in the run, both in Enhanced and in Vanilla. I actually think it's like almost completely unchanged in Enhanced. I think the only thing that's different is that some bounce crates just got changed into regular ones.
Yeah, I don't really remember the formation of the regular bonus. So
yeah, so this arrow of Wumpas pointing up, that's where the hidden gem used to be in Vanilla, except there wasn't a hint there. And then now it just has a golden Wumpa there, which is worth 25 Wumpa fruit. So if you're trying to unlock the skin in this level, like you still need to get that probably. but we don't need it for the run. Also, earlier there, I did an anti-gravity shift during, like, while sliding on the oil or the goop or whatever it is, and that gives you like a massive speed boost. And that is unfortunately probably the only time we're gonna see it, because I don't think there's any other level where you can do it.
Sadly, no.
This level in any percent also has a zombie glitch similar to the one in Jetty.
Yeah.
Which is like, it's cool because it makes the level faster, but it's also like a bit tragic because I actually think a lot of the platforming in this level is really cool. And also it forces us to abandon Tim.
We love our buddy Tim.
Yeah. It's difficult enough that I think only like top level runners tend to go for it. But it is just an unfortunate case of a faster strategist ends up being a little less interesting.
I just love these little jellyfish creatures. They just go,
Yeah. Yeah. I want to shout out a funny story regarding Tim's name. Because the way that started is that there was a runner from PS4 named Seth Throno who just decided, like, he looks like a Tim. We're calling him Tim. And I, like, rolled with it and was, like, adamantly, like, his name is Tim. And then even when the devs revealed that the name of the species was Snurgle, I was like, he's still Tim. And this game, like the any percent round of Vanilla Crash 4, was actually shown at SGDQ Online 2021. It was run by Jordy, who was the record holder at the time.
And I was doing comms for that run, actually. Yeah,
it was you and Merkaz, I think, and Abdul.
And Abdul, yeah, it was a trio.
Yeah, and you guys got to this level, and someone called him Tim. And Merkaz got so mad. He was like, don't call him Tim. Like, Kylie's the only person who calls him Tim. And then everybody in chat just started calling him Tim. It was the greatest thing ever.
I wish I got to see the chat.
I actually have to leave this level because I forgot to do something very important.
Oh, yes. It is very important you change characters here.
Yeah. For this specific fight, I am going to play as Crash.
Thank you.
Yeah. Shout out to Merkaz. I love you, man.
Yeah.
I love that story. It's just so funny to me.
No, that is quite funny.
So this is the fourth boss fight. The entire first minute and a half is an auto-scroller rail section, but there's some very funny quotes going on because it just like echoes stuff from earlier in the game. And it is important that I collect all of these Bumpa berries, which is what they're called, for a very important Easter egg. That is the reason I'm playing as Crash and not Coco for this. Some of these are like really funny, like this one coming up with Cortex. All right, and there's another one of my favorite ones coming up here. Way out, way out, way out, way out, way out.
I'm partial to this one coming up.
Yeah, this one.
Kick some.
Butt.
All right. Hope you like 5-year-old memes.
For as overused as the WoW meme is, that is like honestly quite genius use of it.
Is fit for extermination.
And that is the only reason I played this Crash, because when you do it with Coco, it's like a variant where she says yeah, and I think it's like way less obvious. Case in point, the first time I played this game, I was playing as Coco, and I got to that, and I saw that, and I was like, what the hell was that? And someone in my chat had to explain that it's the WoW meme when you play as Crash, and I was like, oh. And I was like, oh, that's really funny.
Yes. So elegant, spiders.
So I didn't get all the movement I really wanted to do there. Hyperspin kind of makes the platforming section of this fight very crazy. But I flubbed it a little bit, so I had to play it a bit safer. Also, for some reason, Crash's Hyperspin visually looks like so much more like aggressive than Coco's. Like it looks wider for some reason. I think it's just like his frame is like more top heavy.
Yeah, it shows
their hitboxes
like his
are the same, but it's also like the colors on him are like more like orange. So like the blue and orange makes it look a lot more like fiery. Unfortunately, this is a rather anticlimactic boss fight because there's not anything after that.
Yeah. The way that they moved to the center of that room there made it look like there was going to be a third phase, but I guess due to time constraints, they just kind of just scrapped that idea.
Yeah, that's like probably like the biggest like casualty of just like the running out of time in development, because there's concept arts of there being multiple phases of that fight, and it's very heavily implied that it's supposed to be multiple phases, but it just amounts to nothing. But this is food run. This is what I would call the beginning of the end game of the run, because this is the second to last hub. This level is honestly pretty cool. It's kind of like an amalgamation of everything you've gotten up to that point. It does include all of the quantum masks at some point, but we'll be seeing all of them.
A nice little box jump over there, just skipping having to go over those cars.
Yeah. Also, I love the expressions of some of these robots. Like there's one where like it just like runs back and forth with its like hands on its head, looking very like panicked and concerned. I'm like, yeah, that's a mood, dude. Also, I messed that up, but saved it with the anti-gravity.
Good save. Yeah, and you see there with the hyperspin, you can just like clearly just like kind of just really just slide your way across the area there without having to do like any like slide spins.
Yeah, the entire like aesthetic theme of this dimension, by the way, is after beating the entropies, the gang decides to celebrate it like in like I think Kapunawa describes it as the culinary capital of the world. This is called the snacks dimension. It's basically like very distant future where like everything's like hyper like marketed and stuff.
Oh, they changed the flashback tape location there.
Yeah, a lot of the flashback tapes just got moved around. Yeah, I guess we didn't really mention how the flashback tapes work and like collecting them. You have to reach them but without dying to collect them, and that's still the case in Enhanced. The one difference is that you can actually collect them in the time trials as well. So if you miss them in the first pass, you can just try and collect them in the time trials. There's some cute stuff you can do in this bonus, but I've learned to generally just err on the side of caution instead.
Yeah.
So the end of this level is coming up soon.
So yeah, we saw earlier the order of the quantum mass used was Kapunawa, then we saw Ika Ika, and then we had Akano, as you saw, and now we ended it with Lani Loli using the time phaser here.
And that's almost the reverse order of when you get them. It's just that Kapunawa and Ika Ika are swapped.
Or swapped, yeah. That would have been a nice little like detail there.
Yeah. The boss fight with the entropies does them in the order that you get them. It starts with Lani Loli, and then Akano, and then Kapunawa, and then Ika Ika. All right. So as I was saying, there was that one level, Rush Hour, notorious for being extremely long and probably should have been 2 levels. You might notice that the level I'm entering is not called Rush Hour. The mod does, in fact, split it into 2 levels. So instead of this being a very long level where you play as Dingodile and Tana, it's 2 levels where the first one, which is this one, Traffic Jam, you play as Dingodile, and then the next level on the rails is the second half of Rush Hour where you play as Tana. That is like one of the most common criticisms of Crash 4 is that this level in particular was so long and really should have just been 2 levels. I think the reason it's not 2 levels is because every hub only has 3 levels in them, and they didn't want to have a hub with 4, like not counting the alternate time levels. Also, shout out to the robot that's gardening in the background right there. But yeah, so I'm guessing they combined the Dingo and Tana levels because they just didn't want there to be 4 mandatory levels in a hub. But the first hub in the game only has 2 levels, so I would have been okay with there being 4 in this one. I think that would have been a fair trade.
I think so too, actually. If it was just split like the way that they did with the mod, then yeah, I would have been totally fine with it.
Yeah. The funny thing is that splitting the, like when the mod first came out, this splitting the level caused some issues with the Battle.net version of the mod, because this mod does exist on both the Battle.net version and the Steam version of the game. But because the Battle.net version is always online, whenever you beat a time trial, it automatically checks where you are on the global leaderboard. So Traffic Jam with the mod would check the Rush Hour leaderboard. But On the Rails didn't have a level to check for because it was essentially a new level. And because of that on Battle.net, they would check for the global leaderboard, not find it, and the game would crash. So one of the fixes that Ray Roby had to find, and eventually, bless him, he found it, was how to disable that from happening. As you can see, this is like even like separated, these two levels are pretty lengthy. So like imagine this being like after finishing On the Rails, just imagine if these two levels were one, and that's just how it is in Vanilla 4. And it is a lot to take in, especially if you're going for full 106% in regular Crash 4, because then you have to get the, on top of everything else, you also have to get the insanely perfect relics, which are, again, beating the whole level while breaking every box without dying. Basically playing it like it's Crash 1 on PS1, which is like a cool challenge, but sometimes some of these levels, it gets really frustrating.
Yeah, this level was definitely one of them. I mean, even so, like this.
I definitely took a big risk with that jump.
Yeah. I was like kind of on the edge of my seat there.
I was really hoping I could make it. Yeah. These buses actually got slowed down a little bit, I think, and
really?
the smaller ones. Actually, these ones might have not been slowed down. The ones On the Rails are, but they drop slower also, so you have more time to land on them and then jump again.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Yeah, but as you were saying.
Yeah, I was just gonna say like the added box count from Rush Hour to this is like Rush Hour had like almost 600 boxes that you had to collect, and mainly majority of that was because Dingo Dial's box count is like so high.
I got Crash 4 again. Hi, Dingo Dial, just like chilling out at the bottom there.
Yeah, weird.
I've never seen that one either.
Add that to the count. But yeah, as I was saying, like this level has 301 boxes because as per Dingo Dial level, you just have like a good chunk of boxes like laid out together because like Dingo Dial, in his nature of playstyle, he just has to collect so many boxes by throwing TNT into huge stacks, and that accounts for like a majority of the box count in this level. So
the funny thing is that like Rush Hour in Vanilla doesn't even have the most crates of any level. The most is No Dillo Dallying with 502.
Yeah,
but this one still has like upwards of like 400, I think. In
like almost 500, which is still insane to me.
And then you just you see this is the level split in two, and it still has 300 crates in it.
301.
Like that. That's just like how wild this level is, like combined with the next one, which is how it was in Vanilla.
All right, made it through without any trouble.
Yep, nothing bad ever happens in that level.
So now we get to see the second half.
Yep. This is admittedly a much more chill part of the level, because like if there's any saving grace of Rush Hour in Vanilla Crash 4 is that the Tana section is a lot of downtime because it's mostly rails. But it's also like the last section is kind of hectic, and if you get all the way through that and then you like die and you're trying to get the like insanely perfect relic, and then you're like, oh, I gotta go through the whole Dingo Dial section again.
Yeah, luckily
so it's very, very nice that these got split in two. Oh, I was hoping I would snipe the robot into the TNTs, but that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Again, the robots that just put their hands on their head and like shake and panic. Yeah, I feel you, man.
They have like a little existential crisis there.
It's like that meme. It's like, how are you doing? And then it's just like that. Yeah.
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 Yeah, much.
Like I said, this level has a lot of downtime in it, which is honestly pretty welcome because this run is very devoid of breaks.
And I will take a moment here and talk about GDQ's next all-women and femmes speedrunning event, Frost Fatales 2025, that will be live on March 9th through 16th, benefiting the National Women's Law Center. And you can visit gamesdonequick.com/framefatales for more information on the event, or you can use !FF into a chat to check out the schedule, which I helped work on, funnily enough.
Very nice. I definitely recommend checking that out.
It'll be a good time, for sure. I'm really happy with how that schedule came together. That's soon too. That's sneaking up on us.
Yeah. My March is looking like it's going to be very busy.
Oh, my March is ridiculous. I have so much going on.
Yeah.
Between that and also the Trans Day of Visibility Hotfix special that I am helping with, or I'm organizing on, that's taking place on March 29th and 30th, and submissions are open right now, by the way. I don't think there's a chat command for this, but if you go to GDQ's Twitter or Blue Sky, gamesdonequick.com on Blue Sky, you can find the submissions. You might have to scroll a little bit, but you can find the submission link there.
Yeah, I want to figure out a way to submit to that. It's just that I have plans for that entire week, and I don't know if I'm going to have the energy, but I would really like to if I can.
Yeah, that's fair.
One little minor change that got fixed there in Enhanced was one of those crates used to be a flame crate, but if it was just on the wrong cycle, then you would not be able to hit it without dying, so it just got changed to a regular crate. Also, this used to be a different puzzle in older versions of Enhanced, where the way those fruit were lined up, you were supposed to like hard run right and left with Tana to avoid like strings of nitros. It was a really cool like obstacle, but for some reason it didn't like work consistently across like different people's like hardware. I don't even know why. Like,
weird.
Like if it worked for someone, it worked consistently, but like other people, like it just wouldn't work at all. So like it just got scrapped for a nitro wall, and I don't know why it was like that.
Might have been like a graphics issue, maybe?
Maybe. I even remember it worked for me on the Steam version, but not the Battle.net version. And again, I just don't know why.
Because Battle.net is Battle.net.
But then, like, for some people, it didn't work on the Steam version. Like,
very odd.
I don't know. It was weird. Yeah, so this is a Crate Escape. This is a Cortex level. It's probably obvious at this point, but the Snacks Dimension, there's like one level where you play as each of the 4 characters. So, Cortex has NA aim. So this hidden gem is also a carryover from the inverted level from the base game.
Yeah, I like that they changed that location there.
This level, I honestly actually kind of like, because it's a good like showcase of like what you can do with Cortex's movement.
And going fast at that too, because some people kind of theorize that Cortex's like mobility and like his kit in this game wasn't really made for speedrunning compared to like to the other 3 characters you play.
That's funny because like he is the fastest of the 4 characters.
By technicality, yeah.
Yeah, because he has the dash. He's definitely designed to be a bit more of like a methodical, like slow-paced character, but then they gave him this, so...
All that dash in, and for what? For bad knees.
All right, we got to do a classic here. Tag it down.
Oh no. Oh, so that actually doesn't close all the way in. Okay.
Yeah, I actually missed a cycle doing that. You're supposed to do it here.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Tag it down.
Yeah, you were used to you're used to the enhanced version, so you did it earlier, I guess.
Oh, that was wrong. Okay. We're gonna try that again. Again, like I feel for these trash can bots. I love the animations in this game. I think it's like very expressive. I love the art style. I feel like the art style in this game was a bit more controversial amongst the fandom. Like there are some people who really liked how expressive it was, and then there are some who like really preferred the way the Insane Trilogy looked. I definitely lean more towards liking how this game looks. Although I don't dislike the Insane Trilogy. I think the Insane Trilogy is fantastic as well. But there's definitely like a lot of room for like nice expression in this. All right, so we're back to playing as Crash and Coco. The lore here is that Cortex, he meets up with the others, realizes that he can use Kapunawa to go back in time to stop himself from ever creating Crash. So he betrays everybody, kidnaps Kapunawa, and now we're chasing after him. Also, this cargo moves significantly slower in Enhanced compared to Vanilla. This is a very, very difficult platforming section in Vanilla. All right, I'm going to try and get a funny bug here, like visual bug. I didn't get it. If you land on one of the cargo and pass the end of level trigger, like Crash or Coco will run towards the middle and then just like fly off the screen. I forgot, sadly.
I forgot who found that, but it was definitely one of those accidental ones.
Yeah. It's never optimal, but it's always funny.
Exactly. It's for content purposes only.
All right, so we're coming up to Nitro Processing, and this is the final hub overall. This is the level where in Enhanced, they added a purple gem, because regular Crash 4 only has 4 color gems. It doesn't have the purple gem. So the purple gem puzzle is in this level, but as I've said earlier, we've already gotten the purple gem path's hidden gem from Off Balance because we used a skip. So we will not be needing the purple gem, which is quite tragic because I think the puzzle is really cool, but we would have cheesed it anyway with strats in this level. Regardless, I was considering just showing off the puzzle anyway, but honestly, I think it would be a lot cooler if people just downloaded this mod and tried it themselves to figure out the puzzle. Because it is a really cool one, and I think also people should just play this mod because it's fantastic.
Great.
Yeah.
So I will leave that one for you all to find, but it is in this level. It also has a hint pointing to where it is, so it's not like super hidden. Mm-hmm. Like while I'm doing like the general platforming, you might actually see me pass the hint. All right, so here you're not supposed to be able to walk off to the left there. But because we do, we bypass a trigger that would take Ika Ika away from us. So we have anti-grav in a section where we're not supposed to.
It's a very
Incidentally,
common thing.
This is how we would have cheesed the purple gem puzzle if I was doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes a lot of this platforming a lot quicker because you can just fly over things. I'm not sure how that flame crate didn't hit me, but I'll take it.
It was like the very first frame.
And then this level also has another added throwback to the PS1 games. They added a set of 3 mask crates all together, which is a reference to Bug Light from Crash 3 and Cortex Vortex from Wrath of Cortex. So it's just a free triple mask right here. That was not in Vanilla Crash 4. That was added in Enhanced.
I was just about to say, like they definitely just added
Vanilla Crash 4 is not that kind.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just showed off a very small bit of the purple gem hint there.
I see, yeah.
Yeah, we can just bypass this entire pause. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was just another case of like the original puzzle there, which was like moving spike wheels that auto kill you was just very inconsistent. So
so they
changing it to
nitro. Yeah,
changing it to nitros just makes it more consistent and easier.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
But also we just dodge it with Ika Ika anyway. Doing damage to the boost there, so we don't have to wait on the TNT to explode. Just a little bit of Kapunawa stuff here, and then we're coming up to the end of the level. And then this part here. I have a mask, so I can go through this pretty quickly. Or just not take a hit at all. Also, for some reason, there's like a delayed crate just like waiting to blow up there. So every time you see like 243 out of 244, you panic for like half a second and then it breaks it.
That would have tripped me out as well.
Yeah, so the next level is Toxic Tunnels, and this is kind of like a contrast to the level after. So this is like essentially the second to last level, not counting the timeline level. And this is contrast to the last level being very quantum mask heavy, and that this one doesn't have them at all. So this level just tests your Crash and Coco platforming, and I think it's a really cool level.
Yeah, I agree. This is probably like top 3 of my favorite levels in the game.
Yeah. It does, in 100%, however, have a very brutal multicolored gem path where you can only unlock it if you have every colored gem minus the purple gem, because the purple gem was added in the mod. So blue, red, green, yellow. And it is very long. There's like several minutes worth of platforming, and it has a hidden gem at the end, and I don't want to do it, so we're going to do a skip. So yeah, just jump out of bounds here, make sure I'm lined up. Yep, that's the visual cue. So then we just land on the other side, grab the hidden gem, hit this trigger to open the door, and we don't have to do the path at all.
Oh, wow, that's actually really sick. That saves so much time.
Yeah, I think it's like about 2.5 minutes of time save. Wow. And it is fortunately an extremely easy skip to do. So naturally there was like a whole period of me not doing it right ever. Yeah, I got stuck on the platform there.
Yeah. Is that only available in this mod?
So it is technically possible in the regular game, but
you have to collect crates anyway.
It has no benefit because in Vanilla Crash 4 there are crates in the colored gem path.
Yeah.
But as I've said earlier in the run, one of the design philosophies of the mod is that any path that has a hidden gem in it has any mandatory crate breaks removed, to just reduce a lot of the redundancy of like, oh, well, you have to go down this path anyway to break the get all the crates for the box gem.
Right.
So in Enhanced, any crate that is down that path is right next to a nitro. And as a result, you don't have to break anything in that path, so you can just skip it. If there was like an all hidden gems category as like a miscellaneous in Crash 4, it would be useful there. And it's an idea of a miscellaneous that I've toyed around with, but I haven't like actually tried a run of it yet. But I could see it being an interesting one. But I think to make it most interesting, you'd have to throw in the inverted levels. So the biggest difference with the inverted levels, outside of being mirrored and having a filter on them, is that they actually do change the hidden gem locations. So that'd probably be the only way to really justify the category not being a glorified any %, really. But I could see it being an interesting one, because you would get to see stuff like that you wouldn't otherwise see normally.
Yeah.
I did this wrong, by the way. This bonus is not tricky in and of itself, but I do want to make sure I leave it with a mask, because there is a damage abuse coming up that I really want to do. So I'm going to wait a little bit here just to be safe. Yeah, even though I didn't get the nitro detonator here, it's fine, because the nitro detonator in the main level still breaks all the nitros in the bonus, so you just don't even need it.
And that's only a thing in this game in particular, right? The other, like the earlier iterations?
This is the only game that regularly has nitro detonators exclusively for the bonus rounds. There's one other bonus round in one of the older Crash games that does have a nitro. It has the level's nitro detonator in it, and that's I think it's Final Countdown in Huge Adventure, which is the first GBA game, a game that I quite infamously do not like, by the way. But yeah, that's like the one case of a nitro detonator being a bonus round before 4, and that's also like the level's nitro detonator, as opposed to a lot of the detonators in this being exclusively for the nitros in the bonus round. But then like they all work outside of the bonus round too, so. I think they're probably there just to like give you insurance, like you can hit the nitro detonator and confirm that you actually did get everything in the bonus round, instead of seeing like, oh, like 18 out of 32 because you left 14 nitros behind.
Change the password to my diary.
Oh, they also removed the boxes over there on the left side.
Yeah, that's where the flashback tape used to be, and then the flashback tape got moved.
Yeah.
Also, the dialogue in this hub is hilarious because the whole thing going on throughout this entire hub is that Cortex's past self doesn't believe that he's from the future. So he believes that present day Cortex is an imposter, and they spend the entire hub bickering with each other like an old married couple, and it's very, very funny. All right, and that is Toxic Tunnels.
All right, now we got 2 levels left before the final boss. We're getting there.
Yep. So we have the last like full level, which is Cortex Castle, and in contrast to Toxic Tunnels having no quantum mass, this one tests your mastery of all 4 of them.
Probably my
also
favorite
makes
level.
it makes it like I would argue it's probably the best level in the game.
I think so too. Yeah, it's a toss up between this and Toxic Tunnels, but I think ultimately it became this.
I think it used to be Toxic Tunnels was my favorite, but as time has gone on, I've definitely grown to prefer Cortex Castle.
What was that?
What are you talking about?
Nothing.
I don't know what you guys keep bringing up. It's like... Yeah, so you're supposed to use the platforms and like slow down time to get through them, but I'm not gonna do that.
Oh, there it was again.
I don't know. That was just Cortex looking at us. Like he's very surprised that we're just getting through all these.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I told you, there's nothing out of the ordinary going on.
I guess it was just the wind.
Yeah, so a lot of this early level is, again, a lot of Kapunawa, and then it will shift to Akano, and then it will shift to Ika, and then it will just shift to all of them. I like paused there for a moment to actually register that I did break everything before I left.
Yeah.
Like I stared at 37 out of 37 for about 3 seconds. I was like, oh, no, that's correct.
I love if you do that level really quick. Oh,
I should not have done the hyperspin there. That was my fault.
Oh.
Because you go too fast and you run right into the TNTs.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, I love that particular bonus when you hit the nitro detonator after the time stop, and you just hear that crunchy like explosion sound effect. It's really satisfying. Ooh. Nice save there.
Because I died, we're missing one of the funniest pieces of dialogue because it cuts off when you die. Tragic. I guess I'll just have to play the game to find out what it is. I'm gonna see if I can get the Geordie slide here. Nah, I was a little too late. Dang it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can like slide spin along like the middle platform. But I missed it, so.
There is a cutscene skip that you can do here, but it's really tight and really hard to do.
Yeah, I've never gotten it. I've tried. And then if you miss it, you lose a couple seconds because it takes longer to regain control. Yeah, so this is the section where you start using like all the masks and rapid fire. This is like got to be one of the coolest pieces of platforming in the entire Crash series.
Yeah,
like this is super hard, but it's incredibly rewarding to learn. Like once you learn this, you kind of like never unlearn it. Like I go in and out of running Crash 4, but like this particularly like never leaves me.
I love sections of runs like that.
Yeah.
I was de-resting Monkey Ball earlier today, and it's so satisfying to just like hop in, not de-rest, and just start hitting stuff. It's awesome.
If anybody saw me do that and is like, holy crap, how did you do it that fast? I could never do that. I just want everybody to know that on my very first casual playthrough of Crash 4, I died in that section 50 times. So it is definitely very much a case of like, once you learn it, you never forget it.
That would happen to me too.
Just like riding a bike.
No, that was
It's
really
like riding
impressive.
a bike. You never forget.
I mean, fail differently. I mean, Crash.
And so this is the true last level. This is Seeing Double. It's the Cortex version of Cortex Castle. Honestly, like I actually really like this level. I think this is easily Cortex's best level.
Yeah, I think so too. A lot of good platforming elements in this, and the difficulty, just the nitro placements are like really cool.
Yeah, I saw someone say it in the chat earlier, and it's something I very much agree with, is that Cortex works really well in 2D sections. And I think this level is like a big like example of that, because this is a mostly 2D level, and it plays to Cortex's strengths so well.
Also, I was gonna ask, did they fix that bug where that bat would just like randomly stay in place at the very beginning?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, good, because that was like really obnoxious to deal with when I was doing like the ACG runs.
Yeah. It's even more obnoxious than 106%. Oh, I'm going to have to wait this out. I wanted to keep that masked image views through this.
Ooh. Yeah, it's gonna be...
It's fine, though.
There you go, yeah.
Yeah. It's actually been so long since I've had to do that I almost forgot how to do it.
Yeah, I think it's when I did this level, I would always just try to like time my dash, and then I just realized you can kind of just hop over that, so I like overcomplicated it for no reason.
Yeah. Enhance also adds a mask to this level, because there's usually not a mask here, which I think is for lore-related reasons, because this is the point where Cortex has betrayed the main character, so Aku wouldn't help him.
True.
But yeah, so we are coming up right onto the final boss.
We're almost there.
We're going to see even more of those screens that are completely normal. Yep. So this final boss kind of turns the game on its head, where instead of you using the quantum mask against Cortex, he uses them against you, which I honestly think is pretty cool.
And he says yoink, which I really like.
Yeah.
Assistant, go!
Yeah, so normally those platforms, you could jump on them 3 times to disable them, but you could also just disable them by bouncing with a body slam.
Yeah. There's a weird quirk. I don't remember if it's exclusive to PC or not, where sometimes they just like take a long time to pop up. I realized a while ago that I think that is like, it doesn't happen as long as you're not standing on top of them when they rise.
Time out!
Is that why? Okay, so like...
Yeah, so that's why I'm standing to their side.
Yeah. So
I noticed that a while ago, and I think I mentioned it to Crody, but I didn't mention it to anybody else.
Oh, well.
So now I'm telling 1,300 people on the GDQ stage, if you're having trouble with those things not rising up, just stand next to them.
That would have been helpful 4 years ago.
Yeah. Also, I love the music in this level.
Yeah, this is...
I really like the music in Crash 4 overall.
Really underrated, I say.
Yeah. At the very least, I think, because I think that one was still delayed, standing next to it like gives you the time to like space out a body slam anyway. So like even if it is delayed, you still hit it.
Ready, set.
So this is a bit of a sequence break in this phase. You're supposed to like wrap around, but you can also just do that.
Yeah. That also looks a lot easier to do now that you have the hyper
yeah, the hyper spin makes it so much easier, because without in vanilla, without the triple spin or the hyper spin, it's actually quite difficult to like the spacing is very precise. All right, so
yeah,
time is coming up after the 4th assistant gets thrown at Cortex, so it's coming up very soon. So 1, 2,
3,
and time.
Not
GG.
like
Well done.
this. GG. Not like this in the chat.
What was the final time? Because I'm a bit behind on this stream. 29. Okay, so in loadless, that's probably around 2:19 to 2:20, which is about what I've been averaging for the past few weeks. So I'm pretty okay with that.
I mean, yeah, you're sub 230 RTA. That seems really solid.
Yeah, pretty happy with that.
Yeah, very nice run. I really enjoyed watching the mod of this. Even after like watching previous like iterations, just like seeing it in its entirety and look at the little details and the differences between the base game and the mod of this. It's been quite a treat, to say the least.
Yeah, this is such a fantastic mod. I cannot recommend it enough to anybody who owns the PC version of Crash 4, especially if you tried to 100% the game and just found it too frustrating. I think this is a much more enjoyable experience. So if you wanted to give this game another shot, I would definitely recommend this mod. You can download it on Nexus Mods. You just go to Nexus Mods, look up Crash Bandicoot 4 Enhanced. It actually might be one of the most downloaded mods for Crash 4. You can also find it on the SRCom page that we have, because we do have a leaderboard for Enhanced. Yeah, if you just go to speedrun.com and look up Crash Bandicoot 4 Enhanced, there should be a link to the mod there as well. But yeah, I was really happy to show this off. I've been wanting to show this off for a while now. This is the first opportunity I've had. As far as shout-outs, first off, thank you to Tacos for joining me on the commentary.
Of course.
I'm pretty comfortable doing solo commentary when I have to, but Crash 4 in particular is a game where there's so much going on that I just knew, even if I had somebody who didn't know Enhanced specifically, having somebody with knowledge of Crash 4 to cover the things that I just knew I was going to miss, which you did do a lot of the times in the run, was very, very helpful. So thank you for that.
Yeah, of course.
Shout outs to my entire stream community who stick with me through everything I go through. I really appreciate that. Shout outs to the Crash Bandicoot speedrunning community, both the OG PS1, PS2 era games and the HD games, which is the 4 remakes of the Naughty Dog games and Crash 4. If you would like to watch more of me, you can follow me at twitch.tv/KylieQB. That's also my username everywhere else. So Blue Sky, Discord. I also have a YouTube channel where I make scripted videos, mostly about Crash. I'm starting to do a bit more variety. I'm starting to stream a bit more variety games, but that's where you can find me. Shout outs to Mel Winkler. He was the original voice actor for Aku Aku in the PS1 and PS2 games. He passed away shortly before this game came out, so it's a very nice dedication to him at the end there. Otherwise, yeah, I think that's everything I've got. You want to shout yourself out, Tacos?
Yeah, sure. If you guys enjoyed the commentary, and if you are interested in potentially seeing more any percent of vanilla and potentially any percent of enhanced, you can go ahead and follow me twitch.tv/crispy tacos. That's also my handle at Twitter, and I'm on Blue Sky as well, just as tacos.bluesky.social. And yeah, again, shout out to Kylie for doing an absolutely killer job, just straight up just navigating through the entire mod and doing it with flying colors. Shout outs to, again, the HD speedrunning community for Crash. Shout outs to my Twitch community. I promise I'll be streaming again soon. Expect some streams coming up in the next week, actually. So with that being said, I'll throw it on over to you.
Yep. And just confirming here, I got the 100% completion.
There it is.
And yeah, that was Crash Bandicoot 4 Enhanced. Definitely recommend playing it. There's definitely a lot more in this game than I showed off. There's also all the time trials, all the flashback tapes. There's the purple gem that I didn't show off because the run doesn't need it. Yeah, just really, I so heavily recommend this mod. It is amazing. Oh, actually, one more final shout out. Shout out to Ray Roby. He's the person who made this mod, and he did a phenomenal job. It's actually crazy just how much effort he put into this and how much it paid off. So huge shout outs to him as well. But yeah, I think that's all I got. So.
Well, thank you two so much for being on. Excellent run, excellent commentary. That was an absolute blast.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, make sure you follow Kylie if you haven't yet. If you missed any of this run or the show before this, do all the things. Stay tuned as we will replay both shows right after we're done here. And of course, you can tune in tomorrow and Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time for Oops All Donkey Kong, a full weekend of Donkey Kong speedruns. If you want to take a look at the in-depth schedule for that, you can go to gamesdonequick.com/hotfix. You can also check out the current Hotfix roster there as well. Thank you all so much for being here, for checking out Parallel Universe. We will be on again. I don't remember the exact date because Fatales is coming up, and that is going to... Oh, I believe we're on again on Wednesday the 26th. But yeah, generally, when other events are not happening, we are every other Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern, so, you know, mark your calendars if you don't want to miss your favorite games playing in unique ways. because we love community created content here.